fuck you doing?
Remember that name, Good Pizza, with 3 Z's, baby, 3 Z's.
What's up, fam? It's your boy JP, Good Pizza. Check this out. This week we got a special guest, the homie from Up the Hill exclusive. Yo, you're gonna hear all about his story from his come up with his pops in SoCal to his fighting history. This dude's a beast, and his history with the plant, man. Wait till y'all see this one. We'll see y'all on the show. Well, thank you for coming through, my guy.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Been a long time coming, man.
Hell yeah. Real player meetup.
Yeah. I see you out there moving and shaking, bro. It was time to get your story on the Good Pizza podcast. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And we've been coincidentally doing some business lately, so it's good time.
Yes, sir.
It's good time,
yes, sir.
man. So before we dive into Up the Hill and your cannabis career, let's take it to the story behind the story, man. Where'd you grow up, bro?
So I grew up in Southern California.
Okay.
Orange County specifically. Right. My first until I was 14, I lived in Orange County. So that's where I was born and raised for the most part.
Nice. What's it like down there, like growing up?
Orange County I feel pretty blessed to have been I could have been born on anywhere on the planet, and I was born smack SoCal, Orange County, so good weather year round, people got money and shit. It's not Orange County's got the SoCal vibe with everything's a lot of successful people and like good economy and shit like that, but then you don't have as much of the trashy shit as LA.
Sure.
Because LA just too much sometimes, certain areas, and it's dangerous and dirty and shit like that. But Orange County's overall pretty clean. It's actually out of all of Southern California, it's a little hub where it's kind of almost conservative, as an area. You know what I'm saying? More Republican leaning, damn near.
No doubt.
So it's definitely a different vibe than LA, but it's still it's a pretty dope spot. I could see myself probably retiring in Southern California or something like that right there.
Yeah. I'm a big fan of Newport Beach. I go down there with my family a lot.
That's pretty much, I grew up 15 minutes from there, in the city of Orange.
Tight.
It's Huntington Beach, Newport Beach.
Yeah. Huntington's cool too.
Yep.
That's what's up, man. So what was your scene like in high school, bro? What was you into?
So high school and shit. So high school was kind of weird for me because the first couple years of high school I didn't quite have a direction that I necessarily was set and going.
Okay.
Cause I grew up living with my dad. My dad had full custody, and he was super disciplined, damn near militant almost, with the martial art type shit.
Yeah.
So I grew up with him super pretty well sheltered and shit, I wasn't super babied, but sheltered. He wasn't just letting me go hang out at random people's houses and sleepovers and random people's, you know what I'm saying?
Sure.
So it's the discipline and a shelteredness. So for me, going when he passed away, I was in 7th grade.
Oh my god.
So that's
man,
when I would turn from just kind of normal to where I started getting in a little extra trouble. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
So, 7th grade, he passed away. And 7th grade was cool. I didn't really get in too much trouble, but it really started to set in 8th grade.
Yeah.
Because you got all the freedom now.
Yep.
I was pretty much with my dad all day, all night. I would be at the studio where he conducted his business. I'd be with him all day until the nighttime. He was working 12 hours a day pretty much.
Wow.
And so that was my community, and my social group was pretty much grown men and responsible people, and my dad. And then it just went to boom, my mom, she has 4 kids, so she don't really have the time or the ability to watch over us in the way that my dad did, because I was my dad's only kid.
Okay, gotcha.
So it was just a totally different dynamic. So I just went from not much freedom to all the freedom in the world, which for a young kid is a really bad transition to is at that age especially.
Yeah, dog.
So 7th grade it was cool, but then 8th grade I caught my first little weed charge. I got expelled from school, and then next thing you know, they're they put you in the worst school with the worst kids who are all older. I was in middle school, so I was 13 years old when I got expelled.
Yeah.
They expelled me for selling a dub sack to this girl.
Damn, bro.
And fucking yeah. So then I ended up going to school in like more Tustin, Santa Ana area,
Okay.
like a continuation school right there.
Yep.
And I was pretty much the only kid that was in middle school. It's like all older high school kids that are like just trying to finish their GED type
Yep.
shit.
Oh, okay, got you.
So they would I would go to school, and you only go to school for like 3-4 hours. So
No
my
shit.
mom would drop me off, and I'd get out of school before she even gets out of work anymore. You know, I get out at noon. She gets out of work at like 3. So from right there, I would just hang out with like the local like gangster kids that went to the continuation school. They would buy me packs of cigarettes and 40s and shit. Like we would just kick it at the park after type shit.
Oh man.
And so that was like
The 90s, huh?
No,
Was this the 90s or the early 2000s?
2008.
I'm showing my age.
2009. Yeah, right.
Showing my age. That
Hey,
sounds like
too,
the 90s to me.
I'm young, shit.
No doubt.
But
What year you were born, bro?
96.
96. Cool. Cool.
Yeah.
Nice, dude.
But yeah, so they would buy me cigarettes, and that's like, when I look back on it, I'm like, damn, I was like dealing with some shit in my own way. You know, I was smoking like half a pack of cigarettes a day at like 13 years old, you know, just skating around, doing whatever I wanted to do. And so
Skating's in skateboarding or just figurative speed?
Yeah,
Are you skateboarding? Nice.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I was really into skateboarding.
Were you any good?
Yeah, I mean, I was pretty good, bro, but I'm like kind of tall, and like it's kind of like a little man's game.
It really is, bro.
You got to be like light and like if you see dudes that are really good skaters, like a lot of dudes at the skate park, they're kind of like the smaller, like super skinny, like you know what I mean? Like my ankles be falling out a little quicker than
yeah, dude.
Like
I know. I used to skate, bro.
Extra
Trust
weight
me.
and height and shit.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like
So were you in real quick, not to interrupt you, were you into fighting at this point? Did you train at all with your dad?
So
because your dad was a professional fighter, no?
Since I was like 5 years old,
okay.
4 or 5 years old.
What style of fighting?
Mostly jiu-jitsu.
Jiu-jitsu, okay. Yeah. Brazilian jiu-jitsu?
Brazilian jiu-jitsu.
Cool. Is your pops Brazilian?
So my dad is a first generation Brazilian, like from Brazil. So
nice.
he moved out here in like the late 20s. And so just to like put the timeline together for you. So like if you notice, the UFC kind of like popped out in the 90s.
I remember.
And so what that kind of was all the Brazilian dudes from Brazil brung their Vale Tudo, which is what they called it out there. They brung the MMA out here and kind of started that whole MMA scene.
Yeah,
and
I remember.
So like even the UFC was originally started by one of the Gracie brothers.
Royce Gracie, right? Royce Gracie?
No, it was started by I think Hoyler was the one who started like he literally started the first events, like got the promotion together type of thing.
Okay.
So like my dad, he was a Carlson Gracie black belt. And so Carlson Gracie, that camp out of Brazil, they train like a lot of good fighters, like Alan Goys, Vitor Belfort came from that camp.
Oh, wow.
This guy, Walid Ismail, he's kind of more like a jiu-jitsu known name.
Okay.
But I believe he fought in the UFC before and stuff. But Royce Gracie, like you said, Walid Ismail, he choked out Royce Gracie, choked him unconscious in Brazil.
Damn.
And like this huge match, like it was packed, everybody ran on the mat after. It was like the biggest thing in like early 2000s, late 90s jiu-jitsu.
Wow.
So my dad coming from that camp, they came out here and opened the studio in like 1994. So I believe he came a couple years before that, but opened the studio in 94 with one of his training partners, which was Alan Goys. He has fights like I believe he fought Frank Shamrock and he fought Dan Henderson. So like one of the pioneers back in the day.
Damn, that's tight, bro.
And then, yeah, what were you saying?
No. I can remember this when the UFC first started. I was training with my pops. My pops he was in the karate Shirinjaru, right, in Jersey or whatever. And you know, I was training when I was like 9, 10 years old, right. And I remember like my sensei would have parties at his crib for the UFC, this new fight show that's out, and I would like seen live like 1, 2, 3, and I remember Royce Gracie as a kid, like you know what I'm saying. We were learning jiu-jitsu within our practice, you know what I'm saying, and like we're watching all these moves that we were learning, and it was just like it was so dope. And remember Bam Bam Bigelow from the WWF?
Bam Bam,
big fat fucking wrestler, tats on his head.
I was so early in like the MMA scene that I didn't really like wrestling because we would get confused with it. You know what I'm saying? That's how long ago it was. So I don't have like a huge like pro wrestling.
No, it's all good, bro. I grew up. So I'm a couple of years older than you, so I grew up with like the original WWF shit. You know what I'm saying? I only say that because Todd Bigelow, his brother, was like in our fighting class, in our dojo. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like we watched it with him and shit. It was really cool to like witness that, the first days of that. You know what I'm saying? But you had a whole different perspective. Like your father was like part of that lifestyle. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So like when he's
cool.
calling people and talking on the phone, and like the names that they're throwing around and stuff, I hear them now, and they're like, "Oh, these legends, blah blah." I'm like, those were just normal, like,
those are the guys.
Those are just my dad's friends, and like just people he would talk to on the regular.
That's so cool, man.
Yeah. So, what was I saying along with that?
So you were saying, so your father was friends with all these guys, and
oh yeah, so the timeline.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's pretty much, they brought it over here, and like, you know, the UFC started to take off and stuff.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of like what his whole background kind of came from. But now, since pretty much from what I believe, from the time I was born, damn near, my dad had a leukemia.
Oh, shit,
so it was called CLL, chronic lymphocytic leukemia. And so it's like in your bone marrow cancer.
Yeah, it's rough, dude.
And so pretty much my whole life, he pretty much had it. So he was like working 12-hour days, like getting everything done, you know, teaching his whole studio.
Wow.
Coaching fighters and athletes and shit, while not letting everybody know, you know, he's fighting leukemia the whole time.
Jeez, he kept it to himself?
Yeah, so like me growing up and shit, like I'd seen him like battle cancer. We're at the hospital all day on the weekends, and then he's working all day during the week, you know what I'm saying?
Tough as nails.
Yeah, for sure. And then I think, when I think back to like the way that he raised me, it was like someone that knew that they could die at any time, you know what I'm saying?
It's probably why he's pouring into you so much, bro.
Yeah, so always trying to give me advice about every little thing, and like make me read, and like,
wow, man.
I would be playing outside, and he would sit there and handwrite the shit on like paper. He would sit there and write like all the math problems and shit, like 100 little math problems. You got to go through and do them all. And he would make me come inside and sit there and do his math problems and like just shit like that, you know?
No shit, man.
I hated it at the time.
Of course you did.
He would make me wake up on Saturdays and like clean the whole fucking house, like the toilets, like everything, bro. Like,
yeah.
But
discipline, bro.
Yeah. When I look back on it, you know, it's trippy.
It is.
It's like at the time, you know, you hate it, but I'm like, damn, that's someone who knew he only had so much time, just trying to make the most out of it.
Bro. That's wild, dude. That must have been tough, man.
It was.
A parent at that age, man.
Bro, I don't even remember being able to process the shit at the time. You know what I'm saying?
You're young.
Like, you're just like, what
Very
the
young.
fuck's going on? Like, your dad's dying? Like, what?
Yeah.
Like, it don't even make sense. Like, I'll honestly get more worked up about it now, looking back 15 years later. Like, damn, that shit was fucked up. But you know what I'm saying? But yeah, at the time, you can't even process it, bro. You're not quite mature enough or ready.
Yeah, you don't have the emotional intelligence to deal with that shit, bro. So sometimes it just gets like buried and comes out later in life.
Yep.
Anger and aggression, I'm sure. Probably.
Yeah.
You know, I'm sure that happened once or twice. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, for sure.
So so you're in high school now. You know, unfortunately, Pops passed away. You're with your mom and your other siblings now. How does the rest of high school go for you, bro? What's up, pizza fam? It's your boy JP, Good Pizza. Check this out. I've been getting a lot of questions on where I can find the fire good pizza. Check this out. We got you covered. We're in NorCal, SoCal, Central Valley, San Diego. We got you covered on the slices. Peep the list. Go check out the shop. Tell them Good Pizza sent you. Peace, love, Good Pizza.
Yeah, so going into high school, like, I didn't really have that direction. Like, I'd stopped kind of doing jujitsu.
Okay.
You know, like 7th, 8th grade. Like, people would try to take me and shit, but like, I was just kind of burnt from already, like when you're living at the studio training every day and you're a kid, like, you start to, like, not really want to do it that much, you know what I'm saying? You get burnt out.
For sure.
So him being burnt out, and then plus me being burnt out, plus him passing away, so I really have no one, like, forcing me to do this shit. Like, I really wasn't training very much for a couple years after he passed. And then so going into high school, I actually tried to play football my freshman year. Never played football before. Wasn't really, like, never played any ball sport, baseball, nothing.
Right.
Just like, so walking in, you know, it's kind of hard, bro. Like, freshman football, the coaches are like the dads of the other kids that you're playing with, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not like they're paying people to go coach freshman football.
Right.
So it's like, you know, and they got their kids that they were already coaching in middle school, the little middle school leagues. So I try to play football, but all the politics and whatnot.
A lot of politics.
Like my freshman year, I'd barely play at all. You get like 2 minutes at the end of the game and overtime or something if you're winning. And so, yeah, I mean, I was just kind of, my freshman year, I didn't get in too much trouble, but just kind of doing that shit, like mediocre, like you're decent in football, nothing crazy going on, you know?
For sure.
And then like my sophomore year, so like I had moved from my middle school area, you know, I was living in Irvine.
Okay.
And then when I went to high school, I moved to Corona, which is in the Inland Empire.
Okay.
So it took a while, but I had to find like all the kids with the weed again, find the bad kids, and you know what I'm saying? So like my first year, it wasn't too bad, but by my sophomore year, I had fully associated myself with like, you know, the wrong type of kids and shit.
Yep.
So like I'm trying to play football and live that life while also like, you know, like skipping practice to go get drunk and fucking box everybody at the homie's house and shit. You know, like dumbass shit like that, you know?
Yeah, bro.
So showing up to football practice drunk and shit, you know?
Ooh,
so like by the time I was a sophomore, you know, I started growing a little bit and I was a pretty good athlete and shit. So I got called up to varsity like my first semester sophomore year. But then I started getting suspended and I got expelled from high school my sophomore year. And
Damn.
I went to they send you this school called Orange Grove. It's like in the more downtown, like kind of ghetto area of the city. Okay. And then it's like pretty much like mostly like low income, like mostly Mexican kids. Okay. And then like you got your local little street gangs right there. There's like the 4th Street gang and whatnot. And so it's like not really the best situation. Sure. And then if you get in trouble there at all, you get sent to county. Damn. Which at county, it's like there's police officers on site at all times. The teachers have like a button on their desk to get the police in there. Like it's just like funneling you further into the system, you know? Like that's what it sounds like. That's like, you know, you get the continuation school and then you get like pre-jail. Yeah. And they're like setting you up to go to jail type of shit. And so, but I actually managed to keep my nose clean and I didn't really get into too much trouble that semester. So I was able to go back to high school for my junior year. I was able to go back to my high school. Okay. But by that time, so I tried to play football again, but it's like once you kind of break that trust with the coaches and they know that like, you know, you're a liability type shit, you know, you might get in trouble or something. Yeah. Like they kind of like, it's hard, you know, they kind of write you off. So it's like I was playing football my first semester of junior year, and it just kind of like even my sophomore year, they were pulling me up to varsity, and then my junior year, I'm just playing JV, and it's like, it was, you know, the vibe wasn't there no more, you know what I'm saying? My fault, you know, I fucked it up. So from there, I remember I was playing football, and one of my buddies like, hey, like, you want to go to wrestling practice? And going into high school, I remember my dad always told me like, oh, you're going to wrestle in high school, because like he would always tell me like sports is all about who you know and the connections and politics and shit. And he's like, you know, I know wrestling coaches, I know fighters, and like, you know, it just work out. Sure. And for me, I was just like, I want to get the fuck off the mat. You know, I want to run track or do anything, you know? Yeah. Just from being kind of burnt out. So I didn't want to wear a singlet either. You know, I was kind of embarrassed by the singlet and shit. Yeah. Just thinking about it in high school. And, but my...
Like, give me a gi, bro. Give me the fuck out of this thing.
Dress me up, bro. I'm not trying to wear underwear in front of everybody. Yeah, you go from like a full robe to like, you know, feel the air breezing on you. Yeah, no doubt. And then, so I didn't really want to ever wrestle. Okay. But my junior year, my buddy's like, oh, let's just go to wrestling practice. Okay. So I remember going to my first wrestling practice and shit, and it's fucking hot as fuck in there. Oh, and you're like buddy. Sweating, bro. And I was like, God damn, I don't even think I did the full workout, bro. I did like most of it. I was like, bro, I gotta go. My mom's here or some shit. But I was like, you know, I remember liking it, you know, because I had the background.
You did like whatnot,
it. You know,
being back on the mats. Okay.
So I had like a feel for my body already, like moving around. You know, you got the balance and shit. You know, I knew a couple judo throws from jiu-jitsu, a couple takedowns. So it was like, you know, it felt good. So I was like, you know what, fuck it, I'm gonna try to join the wrestling team. So I ended up joining the wrestling team, and I actually did really well that year at my junior year. I didn't even start till towards the second semester of my junior year. So pretty much I got like the good winter tournaments in, and then like, cause it's mostly a winter sport. It's like end of fall, winter, and spring is most of the season. So I wrestled JV that year. I actually was like 22-0 on JV.
Damn.
So I was doing really good. I did a couple of varsity tournaments that year as well. I was like 15-15, like pretty average. Cause like I knew some good judo throws. So like the shittier kids, I would go like lock them up and throw them, and it would work.
Yeah.
But then you do that shit to the better kids.
What happened?
That shit don't work. You know, you gotta have really good fundamentals and basics and shit. I didn't really have the fundamentals. I just knew like my moves.
Yep.
And I would just send it. Which did great for me in JV, you know, but that shit wasn't working on varsity. But yeah, like I won league for JV that year, undefeated on JV.
Nice.
So I finally kind of feel like that was when I got my rhythm back for like my life, kind of, you know. Like I went from like, you know, everybody I was around all day fully respected me, you know, like just being with my dad and being my dad's son. You know what I'm saying? You just kind of like operate your whole life with that respect level.
Yeah.
And I felt like I kind of just lost that, not really having a drive or really a purpose in my life after he passed away. You know, I was playing football, but I didn't really know what the fuck I was doing, you know.
No
I didn't have the politics on my side to make it transition well. But actually, when I first started wrestling JV, one of the coaches, his name is Paul Herrera. He coaches Brian Ortega now. He's Brian Ortega's head MMA coach. Okay. And he fought in the UFC before. And they're calling out the names, and he sees my last name. He's like, he's like, I know that name from somewhere. And then he comes and he's like, oh, is your dad? I was like, oh yeah. He's like, oh, how's he doing? I was like, oh, he passed away. And so I guess he knew my dad from back in the day. Wow. And what's it called? So just from right there, he told the other coach, he's like, oh, this guy's gonna be tough. You know, look out for him. So like my dad was saying, you know, it's all about who you know, your connections. Yeah. My first day at wrestling practice, you know, I'm like an hour away from even where I used to live and shit. The first dude that sees my name's like, oh, you recognize my dad.
Ringing bells, baby.
So automatically, you know, you start to see like my dad knew what he was talking about with like the politics and who you know and shit like that. So like everything was just kind of more on my side with the wrestling aspect. So it's like
sounds like it, yeah. So
yeah, definitely felt like I was like just getting my groove back, you know. And then my coach runs like a so the coach Paul Herrera, I was actually listening to the Joe Rogan podcast the other day. He had this dude named Tank Abbott on. Okay. He was a former he might have been the heavyweight champ in the early days. Okay. But he was a good UFC fighter, like back in the day.
Tank, I remember Tank.
Yeah, Tank Abbott.
Yeah.
So Tank Abbott's telling the story on Joe Rogan about him and that coach, Paul Herrera. And he's talking about how they went and they used to drive around to gyms and just like challenge people and shit. Yeah. So I guess they went to my dad's gym. But he's telling the story on Joe Rogan. And I'm like, oh, fuck, he's talking about my dad's gym. Dude. He's talking about how they went to the gym and like challenged the dude. And so my dad, what's it called? His partner, who I was telling you, Alan Goyes. Yes. So Alan Goyes was the one who was like there to receive like their challenge. And shit. Yeah, and I think my dad was just there as well. For sure. But Alan was better than my dad at jiu-jitsu. Okay. And so Alan was the one that like challenged him and whatnot. So I guess they had the first guy go that was a little smaller, and he choked him out real quick. Yeah. And then Paul Herrera, my wrestling coach, he was like All-American in Nebraska. It's like a badass wrestler. Right. And so he went with him. It took a little longer, but the dude choked him out too. And then, but I guess Tank went with him, and Tank was just too fucking big. He said Tank said he got him an armbar, and Tank just picked him up and was like about to slam him. He's like, all right, stop. Oh shit. So, but yeah, he's telling this story, and I'm like, oh fuck, they're talking about my dad's gym. This is like last week that I was listening.
That's
to
incredible, bro. Yeah, I bet you that made your day, bro.
So now that I put two and two together, that's how the coach knew my dad's name. Because he went to the gym and met my dad when they challenged. Oh, shit. So he knew, he was like, oh, this kid's going to be tough.
Yeah.
So that's how he knew my name and knew my dad's name.
No shit, dude.
Yeah.
That's a fucking trip,
Trippy
bro.
ass story.
That's
But
a trippy ass story, bro.
Yeah.
That's really cool that you got to hear a story about your father that involved your father all these years later, bro.
Yeah, it was hella random, but yeah, it was dope.
That's cool, man.
Yeah, and then so my junior year, did good on JV, and then I went to my coach at the time. His name was Steve Glassy.
Mm-hmm.
He's like really badass coach. So like we took 5th in state as a team my junior year. I wasn't on the varsity team, but they took 5th in state. And then my senior year as a team, we took like 7th in state. Nice. And so like he has a really good summer program. Okay. So that's how he like develops the kids really well. You know, so like the middle school and high school kids all like they're trained all summer. So we were going to camps all summer. We're going to like Washington, Northern California, like Idaho, you know, we're doing camps, right. Oregon. And so I was just grinding it out pretty much all my junior year that summer before senior year. And then so my senior year, I ended up getting, I won CIF. I took like 7th at Masters, which is like the entire southern section. It's like 500 schools.
Wow.
That boil down into that.
Yeah.
And then I got a top 12 at state. So I lost. So the top 8 people get a medal, and you're like officially a state placer. Mm-hmm. So like it's a 2-day tournament. You wrestle the first day, and then the second day, if you make it to the second day, your first match of the morning is to place. So it's called like the blood round or the crying round, because you lose, you go cry.
Yeah.
And so what's it called? I lost my placing match, so I got top 12. So I didn't place, but to get top 12 out of like, it's pretty much, it's like 1,500 schools in California.
Wow.
Boils down to 1 division. So we're like the only state in the country that only has 1 division for wrestling. And seeing how big California is like ridiculous.
Yeah, bro.
Like even smaller states like Oregon or wherever, like Oregon's not even like, it's like 10% of the people is California, and they have 4 divisions. So there's 4 state champions at each weight.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So, whereas California's only 1 division.
Got you.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that for like, you know, to do that with pretty much, I was like 1 year and like 2 months of wrestling in high school. So it was pretty much like just like training as a kid and like just going to the camps over summer. It kind of just all accumulated and paid off.
Yeah, dude.
And then so from there, I actually started getting some scholarship offers.
Okay.
If I would have placed, I would have gone to like a better school, you know.
Okay.
But everything happens for a reason type shit. But
of course, bro. Of course.
But yeah, I remember too, this was like back still like 215 days type shit.
Yeah, man.
So
were you like selling trees at this time or growing?
Yeah, so like I said, I caught my first selling weed charge in fucking 8th grade. So from there, like it was always just kind of like you do the smoke for free shit for a little bit, and then like by my senior year, and I was trying to like stack some of the paper, you know. So yeah, I was just selling dub sacks or zips, you know, whatever. In high school, I had a couple grand saved up, which felt good, you know.
Yeah, dude.
But yeah, I was never too serious, bro. I was always like, I always wanted to smoke weed and like have weed and shit, but like I didn't know that like back in that day as well, there's no official way to like, oh, this is going to be a future for me without, you know what I'm saying? Without, because you feel like if you're going to quote unquote sell drugs or something, you're just going to turn your life into that kind of life. Whereas weed is its whole own thing, you know what I'm saying? It doesn't... You
could do it along with anything.
Yeah, it doesn't necessarily... Like, it always has been lumped in with all these other drugs and shit, but, like, the shit that the other drugs do to people and, like, the people you start associating with, like, involving yourself in it at all, is just way different than weed, you know?
Totally.
But, you know, just kind of growing up...
Nobody needs weed at 3 a.m., you feel me?
Growing up with my dad always calling it dope and, like, just... yada shit like that. I never thought of it as like, oh, I'm gonna just keep doing this forever or try to scale this up to something, you know. I always figured like, oh, I'll go to college and get a job of some sort, you know.
Yeah.
Or like open a business or something, you know. So yeah, like I got a couple scholarship offers out of college, and I ended up going to this little tiny ass fucking Catholic school in Kansas.
Is that right? Oh shit.
Yeah, bro.
How'd that go?
So like if you were to ask me while I was there, like directly after I left, I would have been like, worst fucking decision ever. But like at the end of the day, when you take someone from California and you take the weed industry into account and then put them in Kansas and introduce them to a bunch of Kansas people and like you know what I'm saying, you get the lay of the land. It's like there's opportunity. You know what I'm saying?
What?
Yeah, there's opportunity.
Yeah.
So I was there for like a year and a half. It was in Atchison, Kansas, like 45 minutes outside of Kansas City. There's only like 1,500 people that went to the whole school and shit.
Oh wow!
And it's a little Catholic school, so it's just like not really the vibe that you're used to growing up in fucking Southern California,
No doubt. What's up, guys? Just want to take a quick second to shout out my sponsors over at Grove Bags. Listen, Grove Bags are hands down the best way to store your cannabis. Forget jars, forget Mylars. Nobody does it like Grove Bags. Listen, it's a 6-layer, non-static bag. State-of-the-art technology. It's going to keep your weed fresher for longer. It keeps your cannabis between 58 and 62% humidity at all times, the optimal humidity to store cannabis. It's going to increase your shelf life, help prevent mold, weight reduction. Hands down, it's the best product out there. We don't use anything but Grove Bags at Good Pizza. And especially if your product is in stores, we all know there's some shelf life issues at the stores. This is going to keep your product lasting longer on those shelves. So when your customer goes to try it, it's going to be fresh cannabis. Listen, if you want to store your cannabis the proper way, use Grove Bags. Use promo code PIZZA with 3 Z's. That's PIZZZA. Tell them Good Pizza sent you.
Like everybody's way more conservative and just laid back and shit. And I don't know, we just had a bad attitude and whatnot. So even like people would know we're from California before we even like said anything about it.
Really?
And people,
swag.
Yeah, and it was like weird. Like you tell people you're from California, and they'd immediately be like, "Oh yeah, well California people think they're the shit," and it's like automatically have something negative to say,
Damn.
So it was just kind of like a different. It was weird, bro. I didn't really sell too much weed or nothing while I was there, but just meeting some of the people that I met ended up being like very positive for me,
Good.
And then actually, so when I went on my recruiting trip to the Kansas school, one of the coaches, he was from Northern California, and so what's it called? He like got us some weed on the recruiting trip, and he was hella cool, and he was a good wrestler in his own right. Did good in high school, did good in college. So like, oh, this dude, like, we wanted to go here mostly because of him. So we thought he was hella cool. So our first day, we pull up to school. I guess he was gonna drive some packs back for the first day of school.
Okay.
Like this had nothing to do with us. We was just kids, but he was gonna drive some packs back for school, like, and he had his little hustle out there in Kansas, and he got busted, like driving into town like an hour away from town or whatever. So he got caught with that shit, and then what's it called? So he got fired. He like got fired. He actually did like some time. I remember he did like a year or two or something like that. And so pretty much the dude that we went to the school for like wasn't even there no more, So it was like that was another kind of thing where it was like, eh. And but what's it called? But I met her later on, met this dude again later on. So when I left that school in Kansas, right, I was there for like a year and a half. Mm-hmm. I went back home, and then I was in Southern California, and I went to like a community college just for a semester just to figure out what I was going to do. And then I ended up going to Cal State Bakersfield because it's Division I school.
Okay.
So I wanted to wrestle Division I, so my coach was able to, like, he knew the coach, and they were able to give me a shot. And so I moved up to Bakersfield, and I actually enrolled Cal State Bakersfield. I was able to enroll and shit. But then my first semester, like a couple months in, the compliance people came in and were like, oh, said I was ineligible or something because the school I transferred from, like those weird Catholic schools, it's hard to get your credits to transfer.
Oh, damn, bro.
So they kind of fucked me, and so my first year there, I wasn't even allowed to wrestle with the team. So that kind of like fucked that up. But then I stayed there for a year, and then the next year I was like, all right, I was eligible, but I was kind of like not half in, half out, but it was just kind of like, I wasn't really doing all the things I needed to do to compete and stay healthy and like have the coaches like you and like, you know what I mean? I wasn't fully in. I actually had a little weed business that I was trying to do at the time.
What years was this?
This was 2017.
Okay.
It's like late 2016, early 2017. There would be these sessions in San Bernardino. That was kind of like the beginning of like, I don't know, as far as I thought, that was like the beginning of like the SoCal kind of sesh scene.
Okay.
Was out there in San Bernardino. And so we would always go and there'd be like little booths and shit. People set up their shit. This is like the very beginning of people would get a tablecloth with their logo on it or something. This is like the beginning of that shit.
Yeah. Beginning of branding.
So we would go to those and we were like, let's try to do a little edible brand. So the shit was called like Wise Owl Edibles. Me and the homies made a little Instagram page. I bought some bags and like printed logos and we were selling edibles for a little bit and shit. So I was trying to do that while in college. And I actually had a couple dispensaries right there in Bakersfield that were grabbing my edibles from me. So they were stocking it on their shelves. And so like that shit never really made no type of real bread. But it was like, I wanted to find some shit. Like I was hungry to make some money,
Yeah, no
So
doubt.
I was kind of like juggling that in between like trying to focus on wrestling at a Division I level. Like I was kind of like, shooting myself in the foot with my time type of shit,
Yeah.
And like also smoking weed and shit, the culture of it like don't really necessarily go along with Division I wrestling. You know?
D1's
like if the coaches know that you're smoking and shit, like you're a liability, whether like it's not, they don't even have to shame you, it's just a fact,
Yeah.
Like if you get drug tested at nationals after you won and shit, they're gonna take your shit away.
Exactly.
And, you know what I'm saying? Or you get drug tested by the school, then now we lose our wrestler and we should have been dependent on someone else.
Yeah.
So without even blaming nobody, like the shit just wasn't, quite working out together. So my second year at Bakersfield, we had wrestle-offs at the beginning of the year. And this kid, I always whoop his ass in practice. Like fucking whooped his ass dozens of times. Like motherfucker couldn't touch me at all. But I would fucking just didn't really quite have my head in the right place and didn't wrestle that good at wrestle-offs. And I lost in like triple overtime by like a reversal. Like just some dumb shit. Like the type of way you lose when you're not like got your head in the game. You're not doing everything.
No doubt.
Like this kid would always be at every practice and like he was not smoking weed and like
he was ready for you.
So like the type of guy to, you know what I'm saying? That's how you lose. Like
he's ready for your off day.
He wasn't about to whoop my ass on my off day, but beat me in triple overtime in like a weird match. That.
Gotcha.
That's how you lose.
Gotcha.
To someone who's just been working harder. You know what I'm saying? So it's like.
Did he have more gas than you?
Not necessarily more gas, bro. I just wrestled like a fucking idiot, and like
I
had a girlfriend for like 4 years at the time, and we had broke up like 2 weeks earlier.
Your head wasn't there.
So and I was in Vegas at her birthday, like drinking and shit when we broke up. So 2 weeks before this, I'm like getting drunk in Vegas. 2 weeks before my wrestling, it's like, what the fuck are you thinking? If this is your main priority in life, which obviously it wasn't for me, So just everything in general, I don't feel like I got too tired. But I think, like, in the back of your head, when you feel like maybe you are going to get tired, you don't wrestle to your potential, And it's just, I don't know. My head just wasn't in it,
Yeah. Probably trifecta or a combo of things,
No, and like I said, the coaches know if you're smoking weed and shit. They're not stupid. They know who a liability is or not. So, like, the head coach, they separate us on, like, different teams and shit. And, like, the assistant coach, he just, like, does paperwork and shit. This fool never wrestled. Like, wasn't that good at wrestling. And then the head coach, he was, like, an All-American national champ at Minnesota, like team captain. So he was like the technical, the good one, the wrestling coach. And so they like split us into two teams for the wrestle-offs, and like he's coaching that guy, and then like, you know what I'm saying? So they're like coaching against him to make sure he could beat me. They gave me the fair shot to try to beat him, you know what I'm saying? But they were stacking it against me in there. But it's smart, bro. Like I was the liability, So I wasn't about to stop smoking weed, he couldn't pay me to stop. So at the end of the day, I didn't make it a priority like I should have. So I take that on the chin for sure. But
hey, it'd be like that, bro.
But yeah, so I lost that wrestle-off, And I was like, all right, fuck that. Like, I'm going to go super hard. And, like, I'm going to, you know, I can't fucking not be starter. You know, I'm not going to spend another year here and not even get a competition year in, you know, because I already sat the last year. So I started working, like, super hard at practice, bro. And, like, I had broken up with my girlfriend. So that was, like, you know, I was, like, fucking, like, what's it called? Tunnel vision on it. You know, but... So it's like, you know, I did start getting in super good shape and I was like working hella hard, but it's like, you're already in season, bro. Like the kids that care are doing that shit 3 months, 4 months, 6 months ago. You know what I'm saying? Like as soon as the last season ended, they're already tunnel vision mode. You know what I'm saying? Like the kids that really want it. And so I just started going super hard and I was in like some of the best shape of my life, really. And then the next tournament, it was like 2 weeks after I had lost. And so I was going hard, like 2-3 weeks. And my first match, I'm wrestling this kid. Boom, boom. He goes for a single leg. I had already taken him down, let him back up. He goes, shoots something. I try to do something. Boom, pop, 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 tear my ankle up.
Oh,
like,
shit.
Fucked it up good, bro. Like, I heard that shit, like, pop, 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 pop. And fucking hurt so bad, bro. My shit swelled up, like, hella big and shit. So... I'm like, fuck, I just lost my wrestle off and I'm trying to like get my spot back and shit.
Yeah.
And now I just tore my ankle up.
Dude.
And fucking, I didn't even necessarily go to the hospital. I just kind of let the swelling go down.
Damn.
And then I let the swelling go down and I couldn't really even practice, but we had another tournament in 2 weeks. So I was like, if I somehow could just wrestle in 2 weeks and I could do good and beat that guy, I'll be the starter. So I was like, I couldn't even practice. So I'm not like actually practicing. Like I'll run on the bike and try to do shit like that.
Sure.
But it took me like a week till I could walk. And then the second week I'm like, all right, I could walk. And then it's like, all right, I got to compete in 7 days from now. Like just being able to walk. And so I, what's it called? I wrestled at that tournament. The first dude I beat him like fucking barely. Like, I right off the bat I scored like 10 points, you know, did like a couple big moves. And then like as soon as he grabbed my ankle I was like, oh fuck, and like I ended up winning by like 1 point. I scored like 10 points in like 30 seconds, like a minute, and then the other 5 minutes was just him like trying to come back. I ended up winning like 10-9, like just barely. And then my next match I wrestled a kid who was a little better and he just like beat the shit out of me. Like I had like 1 foot and it's like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, dude. Super
so it's like I
bro.
just really got my ass whooped, and I just didn't take it the right way. And I was like, I withdrawed from the tournament, which I should have. Like my ankle was torn, and I shouldn't have even been wrestling. But I was like, I withdrawed, and I was like, man, fuck wrestling. Like I'm done with this shit.
Yeah.
And like I'm just like I don't want to sit here for another year and not do shit, you know. So I ended up quitting wrestling and then leaving that school. And I just went back to community college for a semester and was like training jiu-jitsu pretty hard. And then, and so I was training jiu-jitsu pretty hard, but I knew like I needed to go back to college and finish college and shit. And like if you try to go to like a normal school, like you got the application periods, you know what I'm saying? Like you got to do shit on a certain schedule or everything's going to take way longer than it needs to, you know?
Of course.
So for me, I was like, you know, maybe it wouldn't be a bad idea to try to leverage my wrestling again to make finishing college and, you know, getting my degree a little easier. I let my joint go out like 5 times. Right?
No, you good, bro.
So I ended up, there was this school that had hit me up in Northern California in Redding. And so it's called Simpson University.
Yeah, heard it. Oh yeah, I've heard of Simpson. Yeah.
Yeah, Simpson University. So they had a wrestling team, and they had hit me up. So I decided I would go and try to wrestle again over there, and I had really got into fishing at the time. So I was like, where can I go and fish and like, you know, finish wrestling? It'll be cool to finish school and shit.
Yeah.
So really, I mostly went up to Redding for like fishing and shit, and like. Being someone that smokes weed and shit, I didn't even know it's like you go to Redding to get the packs. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, buddy.
You know what I mean? So I didn't even understand that dynamic of it. For me, I was just like, you look on a map, there's water everywhere. So I was like, looks lit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The coach took us fucking trout fishing on the Sacramento River on our recruiting trip. He took us bass fishing and shit. And so I loved fishing at the time. So I was like, all right, this is sick. And so I was pretty much sold just off the fishing aspect, and then not even understanding like the pack part. But so that's when I'm going there. It's like the first couple weeks of school and shit. We're at practice, and I walk in, and I see the fucking coach that was supposed to coach me at my first college in Kansas. I remember he said he was from Northern California, but I didn't remember where. And this is like years later.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh shit, like what's up, dude? And then fucking he had gotten out of prison like a couple years before that and shit. And so just a hella weird coincidence, you know what I mean?
Seen him again.
Yeah, seen him again right there. And he ended up, he was like, oh, like gave us his number and shit, blah, blah, blah. We talked to him, we'd just get like some weed from him and shit. And then he's like, oh, I need some help with a few things, you know? So you start getting the calls for help and helping this, helping that. And then I remember one time he fucking, he like sent me a Snapchat. And cause this fool was kind of a degenerate. He would get all drunk and shit. He had like a gambling issue. Mm-hmm. And he had got hella drunk one night. We didn't quite know like fully what he was up to. And he showed us a Snapchat. And he's like singing opera or some shit, and it's dark. And we're like, what the fuck is going on? And he flicks the light on, and the whole room is filled with packs, like turkey bags, like up to the fucking. Oh, shit. We're like, oh, shit.
Damn, coach.
This fool's like, yeah. So that's the first time I'd ever even seen, like, multiple pounds of weed type shit, you know what I'm saying? And this is like, the whole room was filled to the fucking top.
Yeah.
So pretty much just meeting him and shit, he asking for favors here and there, like you meet people and whatnot, you start to get a groove of like what he's doing and what's working for him. Mm-hmm. And like I said, you know, he was a degenerate in his own way, so like he had a lot of issues that I got to see him have and just watch and learn from it without having to take the L myself. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
Like, he had a gambling issue, bro, so it's always just spending the bread gambling, you know, at the casino. And then, so he was pretty much, he had a cool little network of farmers right there, right? And this was kind of like a weird time. It was like, what, 2018? Where in 2017, the prices kind of dropped a little bit.
Yeah, they were good.
So the farmers were slightly desperate just to, like, get work off. Mm-hmm. It wasn't like the 2021, 22 price drop type shit. But
right.
There was a small price drop, and people were like, oh, shit, like, sitting on work for the first time in fucking 20 years. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So he was getting a lot of fronts. So he was pretty much running his business off of fronts. And so, like, he would get his re-up, and then, you know, he's spending all the fucking bread he's making on the profit. You know what I'm saying? So he ain't really keeping nothing, bro. So I seen him get trapped in the front game. You know what I'm saying? If you get addicted to that front and your business model is getting that front and making your bread off of it, and you're not saving your bread, you know what I mean, to potentially replace this front, or you know what I'm saying, to where you could do this shit on your own without someone pretty much fucking babying you. You know what I'm saying? Like if you get addicted to that front, like you could easily fall off, like hella easy. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
So I seen him have like a couple L's, just rushing things. You know, so A would be falling for the front. B, I seen him rush things. You know something should go somewhere a certain way if you want it to be reliable, but then there's a certain way to do it if you want to do it fucking tomorrow. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like, that's another thing, like not saving your bread, needing the bread. You shouldn't ever have to need the bread when you're making a huge play like that. Like, well, fuck, I got to pay this bill. Like, that's not the way to look at a play. You know what I'm saying? So be that, like, just rushing shit. And then, like, he fell off on, he took a few L's. And then as soon as he took an L, it was like, now the dude that you need to pay back to get a front don't fuck with you. You know what I'm saying? Because you can't even pay him back. And then it's like, and then he's going to talk shit to everybody. And it's like, rightfully so. He's going to not even talk shit, just let everybody know. Like, hey, this fool's bad business, you know? And then so I pretty much just seen him fall off like hella quick. Like, just all off his own bad decisions, you know? Like, just doing the wrong shit. And like I said, not saving his bread. And it sucks to see him spend all that bread at the casino and the fucking, you know what I mean, getting drunk and shit. It's like you could have just saved it up for a rainy day and kept it rocking. But I literally seen him go from, like, doing great, you know, thought he was the shit, to, like, fully falling off within, like, a year and a half type of shit.
It's all it takes, man. I know some cats like that used to work for me back east, bro. Just front city all day, bro. Meet me on Front Street every time, bro. Like, okay, man. Like, we ever gonna scale this up? You're only gonna get an ounce, 2 ounces every time, bro.
Yeah.
Like, I remember shit got hot once. I'm like, yo, bro, you cannot be coming through for O's no more, bro. I'm gonna give you a QP. He got nervous. He's like, whoa, bro, whoa. Like he had a mental block on his mind where he just convinced himself he couldn't do it.
Yeah.
He always paid me though. He always paid me. That motherfucker always paid me, bro.
No, this fool had the balls, bro. Like he had the gambler personality type shit too. So I mean, yeah, he was doing numbers on his own right. But yeah, like I got to learn from that a lot, which was great, you know. And at the same time, I mean, not great. I would rather see him be successful and shit, but to learn L's without having to take the L's is fucking worth its weight in gold.
That's how wise men learn, bro. Learn from other people's mistakes.
And then also I got to see what did work for him. You know what I'm saying? So all the shit that did work, I picked that up as well.
Yeah.
And so, you know, a lot of good game right there. That was definitely my first, like just the way, like, we've started not even getting paid towards the end and shit, blah, blah. So I wouldn't say I got, like, put on. But he was the first person to introduce us to some knowledge, you know what I'm saying?
Sure.
Give us the opportunity, like, you're going to pick it up or not, you know?
Yeah.
So from that, you know, I was able to definitely, like, meet a lot of the right people out there, met the right growers in the area, you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And because I always kept it a buck, so he would literally owe people money, and, like, they just knew, like, we're just doing work type shit, you know what I'm saying? We're just like, you know what I'm saying? They know the full situation.
For sure.
So even the people that he burnt, like, I still know them to this day. Like, we're still, like, good friends and shit.
Cool.
So it's like, I was able to, you know, meet some good people through that and whatnot, which is just trippy. Like, going to Kansas and seeing him. I literally seen him for a fucking day. 2 days, my visit. Like, the first day to school, he wasn't even there to be my coach type shit.
Oh, damn.
But off that, still, just somehow seeing him again later in life just was my first introduction to what Reading is, like, really about.
yeah, no doubt. No doubt, yeah. Shout out to Reading, man. Reading's got some hitters up there for sure.
Yeah, mean, all of NorCal is
all of NorCal, bro.
Yeah, like, if you don't even take the weed game into account of it, you're like, there ain't no bread up here. Like, the shit's kind of slow and shit, you know? And then, but, like, nah, there's bread up there, bro.
Yeah, man. It's all about, you know, who needs what kind of dots can you connect. Yeah. If you got buyers, bro, there's fucking bags up there for days.
Yeah, for sure. That's how, like, going to Kansas and shit, like, at the time I was like, oh, this is terrible, this sucks. Even when I came back, I was like, why the fuck did I do that, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But then later on, like, the people, you know, you meet in college and shit, it was good work, you know.
Oh, yeah. All you kids going to college, man, just focus on your connections. Do good in school, pass your shit, but focus on your connections because you'll carry those forever.
Yeah, if you're going to school in, like, North Carolina or Tennessee or somewhere still kind of out the way, like, getting them tickets.
Yeah. Especially if you live in California, you're going to school in those states.
Bro, like,
those little boony states, you know what I'm saying? Little hick towns and shit, not too much going on, but everybody smoke weed. Those are the fucking sweet spots, bro.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
As soon as the homies from college found out I was out there and, like, the access and shit, they're like, oh my God. Like,
oh, yeah.
And back then, too, like, the margins were still there. So you'd hear the numbers they're getting and, like, the numbers you could get, and you're like, oh, fuck.
Making like $1,000 a bag at least.
Bro, the shit was crazy, you know?
Yeah, dude.
The shit was crazy. Even a couple years ago, which is crazy how far it came so quickly.
And then the numbers bottomed out and they just kind of stayed down there.
Yeah, they
just fluctuated a little couple points, nothing crazy.
The expensive weed is getting a little slightly more expensive, and the cheap weed is almost like slightly cheaper every year.
It's a weird middle ground, dude. Like, I don't know, man. It's weird, and it doesn't seem like it's budging. I swore it was gonna, but hey, what are you gonna do?
You thought it would go up a little bit?
I thought it would go up a little bit, you know, but. The branded shit, I mean, if you got branded weed, like, you're in a good shape.
Yeah. Like I'm saying, the branded shit seems to be going up a little bit because there's just so much excess, like, not QC weed. Yeah, I mean,
let's be real. What are they paying? They're paying for a proper QC and a guarantee on the batch, you know? If you're a good brand that's actually QCing your shit, you know what smokes and what don't, you know?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, for sure. So what happens after college, man? Like, when do you start like really jumping in the game? When you start when you start growing at any point?
Yeah, bro. So like even like while I was in college, you know, like shit was cool. Like, I don't want to get into it too much, you know.
No. Whatever you feel like spilling.
Shit was cool. And then my senior year, so like I had a little bit of bread saved up, so I put up my first little grow room.
Okay.
So I put up started with 5 lights, and like a tiny little. It was a 13 by 14 foot room.
Okay.
So I had like no extra space for nothing, but I had like the full DU, the AC, like everything. Like I knew a couple good growers, and they told me like just spend the extra bread on the good equipment, like do everything you need to do.
Mm-hmm.
Don't try to be cheap about it, and you'll actually make some money instead of being cheap, and then it'll be a total loss.
Right.
So, like my senior year when I left for nationals, I remember I had planted my first run of plants, all wedding cake.
Oh, cakes. Okay.
Yeah, right before I went to go wrestle at nationals. So like my senior year, pretty much of college, is when I started growing.
Okay.
And then I actually did good on that room. I had like a few hiccups here and there. I had like an irrigation guy come and put in a water system, and he like re-vegged my whole room. He was supposed to like go in and work with the lights on and shit, and he was like staying too late and like leaving the door open, just dumbass shit.
Using flour and a re-veg.
Yeah, this was my first run ever, and shit was looking fucking beautiful, like praying. It was like week 3, 4. Then you walk in and the top starts sprouting up a little bit. You're like, what the fuck's going on?
Out the buds
and then
shit.
All the buds, they just like sprouted out and shit, and then started forming like little popcorn nugs outside of the buds.
Yeah.
But it was like too far. It was too late. It was already like week 4 of flower. And I was like, all right, fuck it. Let's just, ride it out and see what happens. Ended up taking that shit like 11 and a half weeks.
Yeah, like cakes.
And it did good, bro.
No shit? Even with the re-veg?
I got 12 pounds out of 5 lights.
Damn.
So my first run ever, I got essentially, it was like 2.4 pounds of light.
2 and change of light.
And
nice.
Numbers were cool. Numbers had just started going up right then. That was 2020. So I was like that in the early spring, like right when the numbers started to shoot back up.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like 15, 16, 18 in the winter. But then I pulled my shit like right in the summer, and it was like 22, 25 and shit. So I got like a good number,
Nice, bro.
Yeah, and
especially for a re-veg.
So yeah, my first run ever, re-vegged it and still paid for the whole room, and like I made some profit and shit.
Nice, dude.
So I was like, oh, I'm the fucking best grower ever. Like, fuck, I gotta keep doing this shit.
Yeah.
But nah, like my next run, I used to have my AC set just with the thermometer on the wall, and it has a little button on it. And since my room was so small, everything was just kind of like pretty close. So I was in there working on this is my second run. I was in there working on the plants and shit, and I guess I bumped the power button for the AC, bumped it, and then left, and I didn't realize. And so my homies came through. They were like, yo, this shit smells hella weird, like outside your grow room. I'm like, what do you mean it's like smells weird? So they open the door and shit, and they're like, yeah, it's just hella hot, like even radiating like from the room.
Oh shit.
I'm like, what the fuck? So they open the door, bro, and everything's just cooked. It was like 140 or some bullshit, 120 or 140 or something, and fucking everything was cooked, bro. Like it was looking like a great second run too.
Yeah.
And so I was like, oh, you humble yourself real quick.
Real quick. Something about that second run, bro. That was my same experience, bro. I crushed my first run out here. Second run was fucked up. Indoor and outdoor. I think like the first run, you're so fucking into it. You got your boys giving you advice. You're fucking on it. And then you got your first run.
Well,
now you run shit. You're like, oh, I got this shit, bro. Take a little vacay,
Nah, you start doing dumb shit too. You're like, well, I'm gonna try this. I'm gonna try that. I'm gonna try.
Yep.
So I've wasted a lot of time growing doing that, like just trying too much shit, taking too many people's advice and shit.
Got you. That's another.
You got to keep it simple and like pick one person where you could smoke their weed, it's fire, and then continue to like learn from them.
Yeah.
And then don't be like mix and matching everybody's program, and then you're confused why it's not working.
Little this, little that.
Shit.
Yeah. I used to burn a lot of plants too.
Yeah.
Like I learned real quick. Whatever it says on the nutrient recommended amount of nutrients, go half. Like half was like my saving grace. Whenever I didn't do that, it was just I always fuck something up.
Yeah, typically.
You know,
when you're first starting, I heard that a bunch.
Burning growing two different plants in the same pot, and that was dumb. And then I learned out what the fuck you doing, bro. Come on, man. You know, so shit like that, yeah.
But yeah, pretty much.
We learn.
Like after that same summer right there, I had this was only like, I'd only been going for like 6 months so far. I decided to do like a depth garden up in like an hour and a half north of Reading. I decided to do like a little depth garden. I put up 3,000 square foot hoop houses.
Oh wow.
And it was actually like a fucked property, like the old mining property, and the road was like super janky to get up in, like super sketchy and fucking steep. And this fool would have to we have the water tote on the back of the pickup, and you just 4-wheel drive the water all the way up. Like you couldn't even drive like a trailer or nothing.
Damn.
So this fool would fill up we had a house that we rented out just for the water. And he would fill up this tank and like drive it up the mountain and like sketchily get up the side of this fucking cliff. And we like barely pulled that run out. And like we did pretty good on that shit.
Damn.
But yeah, that's just kind of like how my growing experience went. Like I said, I did good on the first one, so I was like, oh shit, I'm gonna just send it. And fucking so that shit was cool, you know, like made some bread off of that, nothing crazy. And then what's it called? Then got like some more indoor shit rocking, you know.
Nice,
and
dude.
And then rocking the indoor shit for a while. And then I had another depth garden. It was the next year. Tried to go a little bit bigger, and I did 5 hoop houses. And shit was looking good, bro. It was looking great. Like I put a lot of work in that property. Like that one, like I had the experience from the previous year, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So like we did everything super fucking nice, but we were about 10 days out. Like I have the pictures posted on my Instagram and shit. Like the buds look fucking great. Like everything's collared out. Like fucking no yellow leaves, bro. Like green leaves down the whole shit.
Nice, dude.
And like you know how the outdoor plants look in the sun, bro. Like if you got like a good outdoor plant, they look so healthy. And
oh
vigorous.
God, you're so happy and green and vigorous.
That sun just does its own thing.
California sun, bro.
Yeah, bro. And the fucking we're about 10 days out, and we're pulling up in the morning. We were waking up at like 3. We wake up at like 3:45 in the morning because we like to get there and pull the tarps. We'll put the tarps on before the sun comes up in the morning. That way we could take the tarps off like 10 a.m.-ish instead of you go late at night. So some people, they'll go right before the sun's down, maybe like 6, 7 p.m.
Yeah.
And the sun goes down like 9:30. And they'll put the tarp on right then so that they could just go at a reasonable hour. And then they'll leave the tarp on all night and come in the morning at like, you know, like 8 or whatever when you want to wake up and come open it before the sun comes up.
Sure.
But so what you're doing is you're trapping in all that humidity all night, you know what I'm saying? And you're putting the tarp on. At the end of the day, there's still 2 hours of sunlight. It's a 100-degree day. You're pretty much baking your fucking weed. You know? You're baking your plants in the greenhouse. So we like to go early. We wake up like 3:50, 4 a.m. And we would drive up there and put the tarps on before the sun comes up and then take them off a couple hours after.
Oh, gotcha.
So the tarps are only on covering it for 3 to 4 hours or something like that.
Okay.
Or let me see, like, yeah, maybe 5 hours, you know, the tarps will be on.
Yeah.
Instead of all night.
5 and 19. That's perfect.
And by the time, like, 10 a.m. you're taking them off, it's not even hot yet.
Yeah.
So you're not baking your plants at all.
Yeah.
So it's like you put in that extra work and you fucking wake up at, you know, a pretty shitty time. But it makes a difference in the quality. So we were doing that like the whole run, bro.
God
so
damn.
That's the type of effort we were putting into it.
What flavors are you guys growing?
I had ice cream cake. I had some, I believe I had Zookies. Then I had a bunch of my own pheno-hunted shit that I was growing. Like I had these grease monkeys. No, sorry, not the grease monkey. The maroon baboons. It was the grease monkey gelatos. And then I had some bubblegum biscotti shit that I was running. And I had like a row of OG. So, yeah, I mean, I was running some good flavors, bro, and they look good. And we were fucking 10 days out, and we pull up in the morning to. So we had already put the tarps on, so then we pulled up to go take them back off, and there's a fucking sheriff's truck with the trailer and the bobcat in the back.
Oh no!
And like your stomach just drops, bro. Like, ugh. You're like hoping somehow some coincidence and shit, but you know you're fucked.
Yeah.
So it's like,
oh yeah.
Yeah,
buddy.
it's like we didn't necessarily see him in the property the first drive past, but then so I just fucking drove back and had him keep like driving back and forth every couple minutes to see what's up. Like sure enough, they cut the lock on the gate and they're fucking in our property, and they just bulldozed everything, bro, with the bobcat. Damn. So they just go and like they don't cut your plants or nothing. It's too much, you know. They just go and they bulldoze it all, like the greenhouses, the beds, the pots, you know, the soil bags, the plastic and the PVC for the houses. Like they just put it into a big ass pile, and like they essentially turned something that was like clean, you know, like aside from our plants that were like proactively growing and taken care of. Like there's no trash on the property, you know. There's not. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want my grow trash blown into the road and getting me in trouble anyways. Like, it's clean. You know what I'm saying? We got the area clean. And, what's it called? It's, like, hot as fuck, bro. So it's not like we're even running off them. Because people be like, oh, you're putting nutrients into the soil and shit. Like we're really not putting out that much runoff. You know what I'm saying? In, like, a 15-gallon pot. And it's so hot. They're drinking it up. And, like, you know, we're trucking our water there and shit. So it's not like we're excess water in hella, you know what I'm saying? You're counting the drops. So like it's clean, bro. We're not really doing like anything as far as harm to the ecosystem necessarily, but then the sheriffs come and they turn into a huge pile of fucking trash. You know what I'm saying? They mix all your nutrients up into whatever. Now everything's on the ground, and it's like, you know what I'm saying? They just create a huge like ecosystem mess, and then they take a picture of it and go, look at all the trash that the growers fucking leave behind. You're like, well, fucking an hour ago, it wasn't a pile of trash. You know what I'm saying? It was a beautiful, clean garden. Right. And then they'll create some trash and then use that as further evidence to go fuck up someone else's day, you know?
No shit, dude.
So
you know he just got caught, though?
Nobody was there at the property at the time. I mean, it's only like a misdemeanor and shit, but they left a fat ass fine on the property.
Plant count fine?
So your plant count fine is only like fucking
100 a day or some shit,
bro. It's like 2,500 or 5,000, but they get you for the greenhouse. It's like 5,000 per greenhouse. Damn. Or sorry, 2,500 per greenhouse. We had like a little fence, ticket for the fence. Oh, your fence is higher than 6 feet. Like they just find your water tank was on top of something. Like, you know, they find little random ass shit and they tell you up. Next thing you know, it's like 30K. So I mean, I didn't own the property, so that wasn't my burden. Gotcha. You know what I'm saying? They knew it's good, but they knew the risk beforehand. And I'm pretty sure when you sell it out on a property thing, they pretty much cut it in half and like, you want to pay right now. That's kind of usually, I think, the typical offer. Okay. But yeah, so I got cut doing that. So I just kept the indoor shit rocking for a couple years. I mean, even till now. But now I pretty much have got it scaled down to where I'm just doing my pheno hunting. So I was growing my own weed for the brand for a good like 2 years. But it just became too much, like the demand. And then, you know, the marketing, and you got to be out and about and like, you do. You know what I'm saying? And you could only grow so many flavors yourself. You got to have this whole menu. And it's like, there's a lot of things that you miss out on trying to pinch every penny and do everything yourself. You know what I'm saying? Oh, that's it's like, not that I don't have the ability to do that if I want to, but it's just like a different vision and like a different scale you could get to. Absolutely. So yeah, like pretty much right now I'm just pheno hunting. As far as like what I'm doing for growing. How many beans do you usually pop per hunt? Right about now with the way my room's set up, I like to keep it around like 100 to 150. Cool. That's what I like to pop at a time. Nice. So like I was telling you, we just harvested that shit. It's drying right now. Over there with Lyfe Sauce, we got the ZBX2 phenos that I've been hunting from Duca Doja.
Oh yeah, tell me about that.
Yeah, that shit started as like 103 beans.
Okay.
I was actually at the first smoke of the day, fucking the first party that they threw.
Okay.
Like not this last year, but the year before that.
I remember that first one. Yeah.
Yeah, so I went there and I met Doja for the first time, and he was just asking me about hunting beans and shit. And then so I told him like I hunt beans, yada yada. So he just pulled out this bag full of beans and like gave me this whole vial. There was like over 100 seeds. So I was like, oh shit, like thank you,
Sick.
bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? His beans don't go for cheap, you know?
Yeah,
Like,
no, they don't.
So I was definitely super thankful for that.
That's
so
dope.
it took me like maybe like a month or so to get situated, but I got on that pretty quick. And then like vegged them up 2-3 times, and you know, till I got like the second or third generation.
Yeah.
And I tested them 3 times. The first time I just did one of each.
Mm-hmm.
And then I narrowed it down from like 103 down to the second hunt was like 40, 45. And then from there I narrowed it down to 7. And then so the 7, I dropped off all 7 of those with Lyfe Sauce.
Smart move.
Yeah.
Shout out to Lyfe Sauce.
Sure.
Killing shit.
For sure. Yeah, bro. I'd tell if I was on a fucking island, you know, and I had to like pick one pack, it's going to be from him for sure.
Oh yeah.
And then but so I narrowed it down to 7. So he just grew all 7 of those.
Oh,
I'm
nice.
actually,
Are you making your selection out of those?
Yeah. So yeah, pretty much I got like 3 or 4 out of the 7 that I like.
Okay.
But I wanted to see how all 7 would do with him because it's a little bit different program.
Yeah,
you know,
for
every
sure.
shit always comes out a little
Of
different.
course.
And a couple of the ones that I didn't like as much might be are the ones that were like a little bigger, a little bit more purple. So
Okay.
it's like not that I'm gonna try to select those. I'm already like shied away from, you know what I'm saying? I'm already kind of shied away from picking those already.
Okay.
But if they do come out fire and they are yielding more and they are purple, then that's cool too. You know what I'm saying? But I got
Purple
like 3 or 4 that I'm like super excited about for
Nice,
sure.
dude.
That I've already picked out my selections, but I'm flying down to LA on Friday, and fucking by like Monday or something, he should have them trimmed up.
Cool, man.
And we're going to go through those.
Yeah, dude.
And then I gave him those, and then these 2 lavender lemonade crossed with Skittles phenos. Burner did that whole album thing where he dropped the album with the seeds.
Yep, I remember that.
Yep, so my boy had got me like four packs of those, and he bought them and just handed it to me, and was like, oh, yo, hunt through these. So I ran through all those. I don't know how much they tested that shit before they dropped them, you know
Wow,
what I'm
what's
saying?
up?
It was a bunch of, you know, weird looking plants, and it's like, you know what I'm saying? They didn't look like they had been thoroughly like worked through. So
Sure.
out of 4 packs, I ended up with like 4 maybe that I was like, I'll even continue to try to look at this.
Okay.
But I had 2 that were like pretty unique. So I dropped off 2 of those with sauce as well. I'm definitely more excited about the ZBX2s, but those lavender lemonades, one of them's pretty trippy, bro. It's like lemon, but it's got like a lavender like dryer sheet terp,
Interesting.
which it's like hella unique. So I want to see what's up with it, but at the same time, like unique and desirable, they're two different
Unique and
things.
desirable are 2 different things, especially in today's market.
Yeah,
my friend.
100%.
Yeah, man. Yo, I'm meant to ask you, bro. How did you and Lyfe Sauce hook up, bro? Like, how did that whole relationship start?
I seen him. I think it was like a Trans Bay challenge, bro.
Okay.
I seen him at a Trans Bay challenge, and then he had given me a couple of pre-rolls. And usually I don't really like fuck with a pre-roll, you know. But like
Same.
I smelled it and I was like, oh shit, like it smells like some actual weed.
Yeah. Nice little dry pool. Like,
yeah. And it was his permanent marker crossed with LCG and his LCG Skittles.
Okay.
So I smoked those right there, and they're fucking burning like perfect bone white and dripping and shit. I'm like, oh shit. So I had met him, and then I had his contact and whatnot, and just kind of kept it in my back pocket for a while. I know I had went and seen him one time, and I grabbed like a couple packs just to smoke on type shit. Like for me, like I said, I was fucking branding all my own weed. You know what I'm saying? So
No
the
doubt.
price point necessarily of his weed was kind of like a little too high for me to just kind of trap it out. You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
Like his shit is not cheap. You know what I'm saying? So I gotta reserve that for pretty much. That mostly just works for the branded work. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, of course.
So it's
of
like,
course.
so I had seen his shit and just how good it was smoking and whatnot. And then, like I said, I grabbed some of his shit to smoke on. And then what happened was, so I had these cuts ready, right? And I was about to plant them in my room. And shit was just so fucking hectic at the time, bro. And like, it got to a point where I had like around 100 lights going.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just me and my girl, pretty much.
Damn.
Like, pretty much just me and my girl. I'd have like a worker here and there, but like up where I'm at, it snows hella, bro. So like, shit is seasonal with people and their attitudes and their commitments and shit. You know what I'm saying?
Got it.
So we're hella far from like females and shit. So trying to get a young person to go move up there and work for you and shit is like not necessary. And then small towns like that, bro, you can't have people fucking with you like from that town. You know,
of course,
that's gonna end badly, 100%.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So pretty much just me and my girl, bro. Like, and so it just gets to the point where we're trying to do that and then travel and build the brand, do this and do that, and it's like I had these cuts ready and I'm about to plant them in my room. And I was like, you know what, fuck it, let me hit up Sauce and just see if he'll grow this shit for me. You know what I'm saying? Like, take a page out of fucking couple of these people's book, you know what I'm saying? Like, so I had hit him up and, like, he was like, all right, fuck it, let's do it. And, you know, people are pretty hesitant about taking in cuts and, like, just shit like that in general. Like, he's going to grow all these strains. Now he's got to trust me to, you know, buy back the whole room and shit, which is what I'm telling him that I'm going to do. So
everybody says that too.
Yeah, bro. So it's like a bullshit commitment sometimes for people.
Yeah.
So for him to be like, you know, receptive to that shit, you know, I'm hella grateful to this day for that. And it did start something very cool.
That's dope, bro. And is this when Up the Hill was born?
No. So Up the Hill, I started that shit just listening to the first couple of First Smoke of the Day podcasts, bro.
Okay.
I remember listening to the first couple of that shit, and the brand started popping up and shit. I'm like, fuck that. I need my own brand. That shit is cool.
Yes, you do.
Like, I wasn't really thinking on that wavelength, bro. Like,
yes, you do.
I was up in the hills for so long, just like, you know, trying to be the grower myself. I wasn't even really going to LA and like seeing who's a hot brand and this, that. And there's not much media that's been out, you know? Like, I feel like as far as before First Smoke and like you guys and shit, like, how would I even know like who is hot or get background on any of these people? You know, it's like very limited access to any sort of media or information about that shit. Sure. So when First Smoke of the Day came online, like every time they drop a new episode, all these well-known brands, this would be like the first time I'd seen this shit.
Oh, no,
you know what I'm saying? So I really like peeped a lot of game off of them.
Yeah, this is
and that shit got the wheels rolling where I was like, all right, I need my own brand, blah, blah, blah. And so for me, like Up the Hill is just kind of like a common expression.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So Up the Hill, I was going to do Up the Hill genetics, but then like a couple weeks into that, I was like, man, that shit just sounds like a breeding thing too much. Yeah. You know, it just sounds like seeds. You
Definitely
know,
sounds like breeding.
And so that's not really what I wanted to go for. And then I was thinking like, oh, Up the Hill exotics. But then I'm like, man, that shit is just like, respect anybody with exotics in their name, but at this point, it's a little played out. You know what I'm saying? Throwing exotics in your name is just like, you know what I mean? It's cool, but like Up the Hill exotics, I was like, I don't know. Like exotics is like kind of like some city boy shit, and I'm Up the Hill. Like it don't go together. Yeah,
it don't go together.
So I was like, Up the Hill exclusive. Like that shit sounds pretty fire. You know what I'm saying? And so that's pretty much just what I said on and. Like where we're at in Northern California, Mount Shasta is just always right there in the distance and shit. Like if you look north, pretty much damn near all the way to Sac, depending on the visibility for the day. You know what I'm saying? So for me, Mount Shasta was just like a big thing, and so I chose that to be like the center of like my branding and whatnot.
Tight.
You
know, it's funny. The expression Up the Hill, right? Like, you know, I moved here in 2017, and you know, when I got into the pack plays and shit, the box plays and all that, I kept hearing people say going up the hill. So I'm like, yo, where the fuck is the hill, bro? Like, where's
like
the hill? The hill. Is there a hill that we're going to? Like, but then you figure out, like, oh, that's like everything north of fucking, I mean, for me in Sacramento, that's like everything north of, like, call it Auburn, like Grass Valley is where, like, our Up the Hill starts from here. And then it could be anywhere. It could be fucking Mendo, Humboldt, Shasta, Redding, Grass Valley, Nevada City. You know what I'm saying? I'm going up the hill. You know,
and it's like a common term as well. Of like you're going to your grow.
You're going to the
if you're
spot.
gonna go work at your greenhouse spot, you're like, oh, I'm going up the hill. Like they know what you mean.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, you're headed up to work at the spot.
Yeah.
So pretty much that shit. And like, I remember I did the QP boxes with the jars.
Tight, bro.
That shit moved so slow.
Did it?
Just because I didn't realize, like, all right, this big ass box with this heavy ass jars is only a QP. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's a lot of space.
This shit is bigger and heavier than a pound. So it's like, try to get that to where it needs to go. You know what I'm saying?
Okay,
it's
in that
like,
aspect, yeah.
You start running into a lot of issues.
Oh, yeah, you do.
And then fucking, I wanted the best price, of course, so I got like the big ass order. You know, I just dropped like 10 bands on jars and boxes and shit. So it's like that shit. It was cool. It looked cool, and like I did good promo here and there with them. Yeah. But as far as like making my direct bread back on the jars, right? Like, you know, I should have.
You still sitting on some jars?
Oh, bro, who needs them, bro? Oh man,
no doubt.
Yeah, that's the years ago, bro. I still got some jars at the house.
Hey, but you know what? I still got jars too, bro.
Yeah, the QP boxes with the jars was
the little eighth jars. I still got some.
Wasn't a huge hit for me.
Got like a couple cases.
Yeah, bro, but
it's so funny. Yo, you live and you learn, bro.
Yeah.
You live and you learn. Some projects work, some fucking don't.
Yeah,
sometimes you shit on shit.
I remember I seen the Be Easy episode on First Smoke.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, all right, I gotta fuck with the die cut bags.
Yeah.
So that's when I started doing the fucking die cut bags.
Yep.
So shout out to him for the packaging game.
Yeah, he's a fucking monster with
packaging.
His fucking cereal like boxes and shit. Sure. Fuck, bro. That shit's wild, man.
Yeah, that's
the
when I started the
crazy.
die cuts. So I did the mountain bag for my first shit.
Yeah.
And then
solid.
Yeah, we got a nice little lineup.
That 50 Cent one's sick. The fucking Davidoff or whatever, how the fuck you call it.
Yeah, bro. I mean, I like the jiu-jitsu one because it's like proprietary.
Jiu-jitsu one's fire. That makes sense for you.
I didn't IP nobody.
Yeah.
But yeah, that shit like just like fully original.
Nah, your Warheadz one's the illest, bro.
Yeah,
the
I
minute
like
card,
that shit.
Like I instantly knew what it was. I'm like, yo, what the fuck is that? I've seen that. And then I went to Walmart or some shit like, fucking phone card, bro.
Yeah, the unlimited candy.
Yeah, the unlimited candy, man. I'm like, yo, that was cool.
Dope.
That was cool.
I almost thought of that one too early. Like I dropped that one pretty early, like into the fucking hype. You know, I should have saved that one for a little.
bit. Yeah, no doubt. No, we were just talking earlier. It's incredible how like in a sea of fucking candies, in a candy shitstorm, you drop fucking Warheadz and it goes fucking nuts, bro.
Yeah, bro. Like I knew I had something special with that cut and shit.
You did, man.
Like I've had a couple of good batches from my own garden that like did very well for me, but I never grew like huge amounts, you know what I'm saying? Enough to like get it out to enough people to where it makes that much noise.
Yeah.
But so I originally got that cut. I was telling you earlier about it from the event.
Yep.
He dropped that cut. And then it was about 2 years later when I actually gave the cut to Lyfe Sauce and did that drop with him. So I had tucked it away for about 2 years.
Wow.
And then like 30 people all got that cut at the same time when we did that drop. And then I was talking around the time when I did the drop with Lyfe Sauce, and about 3 people had it. So like
nice.
90% of the people all said it was like too finicky to grow. They weren't getting the yields, and it just didn't make sense for them. And like people had dropped it. We were all in a little group chat too. People would complain like, "Oh, this Warhead sucks," and like this shit don't grow right, blah blah. And it was like, whatever, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Hey.
So, but
people say that about
I dropped
Z.
it, and that shit went crazy for sure, bro.
Yeah. It's definitely my favorite candy, and I'm not just saying that because you're on the show.
Yeah.
Because it smokes good, and it gets me high, bro. It's got power. A lot of candies, you know, I get high and shit, but like I feel like 30 minutes, 40 minutes later, I'm not so high no more. Like that shit got a punch, man. It's got a punch to it for sure.
Yeah, the more I've gotten into the candies, bro, like, I mean, I'm just giving the people what they want as far as like, you know what I'm saying? So for me, I try to curve my own palate to where it's going to make sense for me monetarily. Like, I like smoking fire ass like OG, chem, and like green weed, but at the same time type shit, I don't need to be slumped out all fucking day. You know what I'm saying? I need like an in between.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Something that tastes good, smoke all the time.
Exactly, tastes good, smoke all the time. So candy fits the bill. So for me, I'm not the type to be like, well, I like green weed more, so fuck candy. Like for me, I'm like, all right, where's the best fucking candy then? You know what I'm saying? Like, and there's so much variation, bro. It drives me crazy because people would be like, I hate candy. which like we refer to candy as like candy, so I get, like, I don't fully blame them, but to just say I hate candy is the dumbest fucking sentence of all time, because if you really know and you're really like really in the game and you've seen the different batches and the different cuts, like there's so much variety.
Dude, there's so many,
between the strains now. Like LCG and Runts are not the same fucking thing, you know what I'm saying, bro? Like there's so many different candy crosses and shit.
Yeah.
Like you cross LCG and Skittles, you're gonna get 10 different representations.
Yeah.
And it's like the OGs back in the day, bro. A lot of the OG and the chem, like, don't they all come from the same fucking, you know, the same batch of seeds and shit? You know what I'm saying? So it's like,
and there's so many variations.
yeah,
bro.
and people rock that for 10, 20 years talking about how great each different one is.
Yeah.
Then we're like, nah, this is all OG. This is all the same shit.
For some
You know what I'm
reason,
saying?
for some reason, we can't let that happen with the candies. Like, I don't know, man. Well, okay, so the game is a little more saturated now. There is a lot more grows. There is a lot more production. So you're going to see a lot more candy than maybe we seen OG back then. I don't know. I wasn't here during the full OG era. I came at the tail end of it when, like, actually not, bro. It was kind of...
Bro, the OG era for me in
kind of like
SoCal,
OG depths when I came here. There wasn't really too much indoors happening. Like
What year is
Diamond
that?
OG.
What year is that?
I got here in 2017, so really the only OG that was cracking at that time was like Diamond OG that was kind of phasing out.
That's like towards 2017, 2018, toward the end of that shit.
And then the last one that really hit was that Billy Kimber, bro. When I was out
that
here.
was past my day as far as like OG type shit.
Yeah, and then that just actually came around. I had some the other week and it was fucking phenomenal.
Like the first time I ever smoked weed in 2008, when I was in seventh grade, it was OG.
Oh,
so
sick.
like
And
I
you were in
grew up
SoCal.
smoking OG. Like there was always fire OG around.
Yeah,
if
and it was
you looked
good
hard
back
enough
then,
and
bro.
shit. And you get fire ass batches of OG, like
Hell
all the
yeah.
way up through high
Sticky.
school.
Stanky.
Bro, I got this shit in Corona called the White Lion OG. I remember picking that shit up. It's just smell up the whole fucking vehicle like shit's fucked.
Yeah,
And it's
dude.
like, I miss those batches, bro. I don't know if it's just gotten jaded and like you're older now, so shit don't impress you and shit.
Yeah.
But something about that sticky OG from
Yeah.
like early 2010s and late 2000s.
Oh, it was incredible.
Something about that sticky OG. I don't know if we have it still.
Yeah, it was
It's
incredible.
Something about it is different.
Yeah, I was lucky enough to get a couple of those cool batches. God knows what fucking OG it was, but on the East Coast, you know what I'm saying? And that was just like, it was a game changer for us. That was kind of like, we had Piff, then we had Sour that was just holding it the fuck down. And then the OGs started coming in and Sour started to die down a little bit. We're like, oh shit, OGs. And then Granddaddy Perps came in. And then once Cookies hit, it was game over. And I was lucky enough to be tapped in enough
Granddaddy.
out here to get those first batches of Cookies in on the East Coast.
Bro, I loved Cookies when it first came out.
Dog,
bro.
that shit got me so high, dude. Because it was this terp profile you never seen, heard of, tasted. Like, what is this, bro?
The
It was
smell,
fucking-
bro, like straight doughy cookie.
Yeah,
like
man.
a cookie dough. Like
Yeah.
actual Girl Scout cookie. Like
Yeah,
that
dude.
shit was crazy.
And I was getting it from my cousin in Oakland, so he was getting some stupid batches and shit. And like,
I miss that cut.
me too. Me
Like
too.
a fire batch of Girl Scout cookie. Like 10 out of 10. That
Yeah.
could be on my menu for sure.
Yeah, for sure, bro.
100%.
For sure. And then Gelato, no, Sherb hit. Sherb was fucking nuts. And then Gelato hit very quickly after that, in my timeline anyway.
Yeah.
And then, runs your life up. You know what I'm saying?
It's been a wrap since
It's been
then.
a fucking
son.
wrap, bro. It's been a wrap, man.
Yeah,
But
like
that's cool, man.
I guess the Perms kind of made their own little. The
Perms-
RS11 had its little wave.
Yeah.
The Zope.
Zope. And
Last
there's like
couple years.
offshoots of those. I feel like perms, I'm seeing a lot of perm crosses that are fucking dope. Shout out to the homie David Preferred. He's doing some really cool shit with perms. Perm candy fumes. Perms and Stanleys. I just rolled up. Perm times Stanley. I'm about to try this out. Fucking yeah, man. What about the rec market? You got any action going in the rec market? What's happening there? I thought I seen you out in the wild.
Earlier this year,
Rocking
I
with
had,
my bro Ted's Buds?
Yeah,
Fuck
linked
yeah.
up with Ted's
my
Buds.
dog,
and
man.
Got that cracking.
Hell yeah.
So that was like February or something.
Okay.
So we've been dropping
Cool.
this year. We probably
Cool.
hit more than like 50 or so dispensaries across the state
Nice start.
as far as like carrying us on their shelves.
Nice
so
start.
yeah, it's been like a good start so far. 100%.
Yeah, man. You're in good hands. Ted knows what he's doing, man. He runs a hell of a distro,
We
bro.
pretty much dropped that shit around the same time as the Galactic Warheads review came out.
Oh, nice.
From Proper, yep.
Nice.
So we
Perfect.
kind of like hit the road running.
You did it right, man.
Yeah.
I mean, bro, that's how we met.
Yeah,
You paid the fee, got on the show. I'm always tripping on like what they think's awesome because they rarely do, especially when we get the paid entries. And I just seen them tripping on this show. I'm like, yo, what the fuck, bro? And then I met you at the pizza party.
Yeah.
Came through to the pizza party and I grabbed some samples and I got to see the light myself. And I was like, oh, let's lock the fuck in, bro. Let's go.
Yeah, for sure.
That was cool. That was cool how that all unfolded. That was a very strategic fucking play, man. And people should learn from that, bro. Like,
yeah, it worked out well, bro.
It worked out well, dude.
Like, don't be hesitant to like put some bread into something
man,
if you really got the balls like that.
Yeah, bro.
Like the first Smoke of the Day episode was huge for me when I first did that. Like,
yeah, dude.
So just taking the leap and handling that, like that at the timing as well. Like they were like, you know, shit was going super hot at the time. So that shit just worked out very well. And then the next year we hit the Proper Doinks and the Rec Drop all at the same time. So I've had a few strategic moves that worked out well. You're a calculated man.
I like it.
I'd like to think I'm kind of like calculated, but it's kind of winging it, bro, and it's just making it happen.
And looking back, like that was a good fucking move.
Well, I'm not gonna lie, bro. So I'll drop some free game for everybody.
Yeah.
So when I had this set up, so I dropped off all the clones with Lyfe Sauce, right? And so the batches come in. He's like, bro, this shit's looking like everything's looking pretty big and shit. So I'm like, you know what I mean? Like he runs less plant count than me too. So I dropped enough plants for like what I would typically do, and he runs like half the plant count.
Oh no
so
shit.
It's like I'm starting to like get a feel of what he's telling me the yields are gonna be like. I'm like, fuck, this is a lot of weed, dog. I gotta sell all this shit. You know what I mean? And so it's like it's all one run too, so you can't really space it out. You know what I'm saying? So you're looking at the fucking it's finally getting trimmed and ready and shit, and it's like, you know, you're damn near like 200 bands or something for what you need to, you know, handle this room. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So fucking, it just kind of put the pressure on me. You know what I mean?
Smart,
so that was kind of part of it. Like,
Yeah.
Just knowing like, fuck, I got all this fucking weed I got to sell, you know?
And that's a good fucking idea,
you know what
bro.
I'm saying? And like I'm saying, this isn't like some fucking stack pack weed that you could just sell to anybody. Like when it comes to shit like that, like I ain't got no problem, you know, with the weight.
Dump
you know?
those.
But when it's like, oh, you got to sell all this branded work, it's like you got to know what you're doing, bro. It's a whole different fucking ball game, like different beast. You know what I'm saying?
Because they don't like you.
You could have 100 motherfuckers that buy $1,000 pounds from you. As soon as you're like, oh, I got $3,200 pounds, literally not a single one of your fucking customers might buy that pound.
Yeah,
you know,
that's a fact.
You know what I mean? You could sell all sorts of weed and do all sorts of numbers, and you jump into that game, and it's like total different customer base.
It is, dude.
Different ball game, different marketing, and it's just different everything. So just having that on my plate, and then was just like, all right, I seen the Proper Doinks opportunity. I had been DMing them a few times, probably like everybody though, like, oh, my shit's smoking, my shit, I promise. And fucking, so like, fuck, I'm gonna send it with that. And then I linked up with Ted's Buds for the same time, so like I was able to drop work from that harvest for my first rec drop.
Cool.
And so everything just worked out.
Nice. How's shit flowing through the stores?
Yeah, it's flowing good right now, bro, for sure.
Good sell through.
Yeah, 100%.
That's important. That's important.
Yeah, I'm
you gotta
trying
sell
to keep it going, like get different flavors, like every week is definitely a key.
Yeah,
You don't want to drop like the same shit too many times.
Yeah. I've done that mistake for sure.
Yeah, like I dropped a bunch of shit and it sold out in like 1 week, and fucking I didn't really have anything else to drop, so I dropped like the same shit again, and then it took like 4 weeks. So you're like, all right.
oh, hold up now.
Yeah, I shouldn't have got lazy on that one.
And then the clubs got to sell through it. You know what I mean? So we got to stack on another month or two. So, you know, you want to get all that going within 3 months max, hopefully.
Yeah, 100%. As fast as possible, bro. Yeah. I think the Mylars do a really good job.
They do.
At storing the weed. You know, like I have seen.
Mylars way better than jars,
I've
bro.
seen my work that's at the distro. You know what I've seen it like 3-4 weeks later, open it. I'm like, oh shit, I'll smoke this any day. Like it's still great. They keep it in a cold spot, you know, sealed the Mylar, but lets it breathe.
Yep.
And shit, it does, like in a properly stored area, it does last longer than you think if you got the right fresh batches, bro.
Yeah, dude, under 70, nice and dark and cold, sealed up.
Yeah, and then when I'm getting my work from Sauce too, like that's what mostly goes into my rec work. I got a couple spots that I work with, but like his shit specifically, it come like super fresh and shit.
Yeah.
So it's just like good timing, you know, it stores well. You know, it's not like needs to go out, like fuck needs to go. It's almost like this shit could sit for a week.
Yeah.
So you drop it off at the distro, it sits for a week, they test it, you know, it gets packaged, and it's like works out pretty
That's
smooth.
about right, bro. I mean, it's about 2 weeks from like when you pick up the turkeys, get it to your distro, get it tested, get it packaged, get it stickered, get it sold and delivered. That's about 2 weeks. Could even be 3.
Yeah,
you know
yeah,
what I'm saying?
yeah, for sure. It takes at least a week to like test it, put it on a menu, for them to even have the option to buy it.
Yeah.
But
yeah, the shit we go through to bring this rec weed to you guys.
Yeah, 100%, bro. That
bro.
shit is
It's
a
a big
labor
gamble
of love,
for us, bro.
bro.
Yeah, man.
That shit for me, yeah, like
It's
I
not
feel
that
like
much money involved either, if
yeah,
any.
compared to the other parts of the market, the rec market ain't really.
No.
You know.
It's advertising, bro. It's
Sure.
marketing and advertising, bro.
Yeah, like we do good numbers and shit, but I feel like even at that, you know, you're paying the taxes and the fees. You got to pay for the testing, the packaging. It's like
Sales
compared
guys,
to what I
distro,
could get just doing it, you know, the other way. It's like I'm doing y'all a favor and just really going out of my way to make sure you guys got good rec weed to smoke, bro.
Yeah.
Like, personally, because I've been to the rec dispensaries and bought shit and been fucking hella upset.
Cheeks, bro.
And I fucking hate it.
Yeah, so you're all welcome, by the way. You're all welcome.
Yeah, 100%, bro.
Oh yeah, that's what's up, man. What's the next 5-10 years look like for Up the Hill, man? What's the future plans, bro?
So right now, bro, I'm just focusing on like my genetic library and just making sure these batches are smoking.
That's right.
I'm still in like
Beautiful.
that wing it phase of the brand and shit. So I'm still like coming up with shit and planning shit as I go. I'm not like scheduled out for the next year as far as what I'm doing and whatnot. But
that's cool.
You know, I'm still like winging it, but we definitely got shit in the works with the genetics, and it's like, to be true to the game, bro, I feel like the genetics is where, you know, I got to focus on that or I'll lose my touch. You know, I don't want to be like just branding some random weed that I could find, you know what I'm saying? Like the first time I ever dropped someone else's weed in one of my bags, it was literally my cut from my mom's at my house.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
So that's
like,
cool.
You know what I'm saying? It's not like I'm out here just like pulling up to the distro to see what type of packs they got for the week.
Yeah, let's
you
see
know
what
I'm
we can
saying?
do.
It's like, nah, bro, like I'm really curating my menu like
cool.
as much as I can as possible. And like for me to pick something that like isn't like either like hunted by me or like too many people have it, you know, I'm very weary of that.
As you should be, as a brand. Yeah.
So like I got those, what's it called? I got a couple things got some clones from Fire Farmer that are gonna go into production sometime soon, like some Zangria, Snickerdoodle, Gastopia, and so those should be cool. And then I'm hunting. So this second hunt I got a hunt going right now. I'm in like week 3 of flower right now. I got like 102 or something like that going. It started off as like 120 beans that I got from Duca Doja from Rusty. He sent me 3 crosses. It was the Gelato X crossed with ZBX1.
Okay.
And then ZBX1 crossed with Duke's Crumpets. And then a Duke's Crumpets S1.
Okay.
So the Duke's Crumpets is like
100 gases.
Yeah, it's like 8 different fucking OGs crossed to itself.
Yeah, and he loves that one, bro.
Yeah, bro. So that one as an S1, I'm like, bro, I'd find like the next best gas. You know what I'm saying?
You fucking good.
And then on top of that, I got that crossed with the ZBX1. So, you know, I might find like a new like OZK type fucking, you know, sweet skittly gas, which I love OZK.
OZK's
like
fire.
Blackleaf has had some fire OZK batches in the past.
Nice.
Yeah, oof.
I haven't gotten to try his trees, man.
Bro, the first Smoke of the Day party he did, the first time he dropped that OZK, I still think of that shit.
Really?
Like, I would love to smoke that batch again.
Hell
100%.
Hell yeah. I seem to just miss this guy everywhere I go. Maybe I'll see him this weekend. You going to Lydian City this weekend?
Yeah, I'm gonna go there on Friday.
Are you vending or just popping out?
Nah, like still, like I said, winging it type shit. Like I don't, I need to like plan accordingly and just make sure I hit all the events, just out of like professionalism, just to make sure all the stops happen. Because you know, there's always like a couple people to link up with at every event.
Absolutely,
you meet a couple new people. Like another free game thing about the events and shit. Like I don't like to go and be hella Mr. Thirsty and like try to talk to every single person just for the sake of talking to everybody.
Yeah.
Like for me, my positive experiences with the events have been like going and just kind of doing my thing, and you always like meet like a few people like throughout the day. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
It's natural, and like you know what I'm saying, should make sense.
Absolutely.
So don't be Mr. like, I need to introduce myself to everybody and get everybody's number and just like, that shit's just kind of like.
Because then now you're limited to 20 surface level conversations versus like 2-3 like real conversations. Like, oh, yo, I kind of fuck with this dude, bro.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Bro, the older I get, the less I have tolerance for surface level conversations, bro. Like, fuck, man.
Yeah.
Let's just dive in, man. What are your fucking
Tell me a dark secret.
Tell me your dark secrets. Yeah, man, that's cool. That's cool.
So yeah, just hunting those beans, bro, and then I'm keeping my foot on the neck with the rec shit for sure. I just had fucking 1,000 shirts made and 1,000 drawstring bags and
nice, dude.
1,000 fucking lanyards and then fucking 1,000 package samples, and I'm giving to all the bud tenders across SoCal right now, and then we're gonna push our way into like NorCal and the Bay and whatnot.
That's how you do it.
San Diego. But yeah, like just the shirts alone and the drawstring bags. Like I got nice thick shirts, bro. That shit ain't cheap. You know
no, it's not. What'd
so
you pay a unit
with
on
the
those?
samples and I paid like, you know what I'm saying? You pay like $9 a shirt.
Okay.
1,000 shirts.
Okay.
So it's like that with the samples and everything, bro. It's like over 20 bands just for like a little promo marketing drop.
That'll go a long way though, bro.
Yeah, no, 100%.
That'll go a long way because that's your real sales force. You feel me? Yeah. Those bud tenders, bro. I should do more of that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm gonna
merch drops and shit. I just, you know how I go.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to keep my foot on it with that shit.
You should
see how that goes. I see Ted does really well with that shit. He's like got that southern hospitality and shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he does.
Makes you feel real comfortable and like he's just like a nice fucking personable guy.
Yeah, he's a good dude, man.
He's like a genuine dude, you know.
He's genuine. For
so
sure.
I look forward to trying to like pull up to the dispensaries myself and like familiarize myself and shit. And give him some free fire ass weed and.
Hell yeah.
Fucking.
That's how you do it, man.
Keep it pushing, bro.
Oh yeah.
Because it's like, I mean, I'm not even buying, like, it's not like I'm buying their recommendations to people. Like, I'm giving them my weed, and they're going to fucking like it. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
They're like, yo, I tried this shit. It was fire, and buy it. You know what I'm saying? So.
That's exactly how it goes, bro. Textbook.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? No, that's a good play, bro. That's a good play. That
like,
20
and if
bands,
they don't like it, then it'll be fucking, you know?
Bro, they're
potentially it'd be negative, but I know they're gonna like it.
They're gonna like it, bro, because you QC your shit proper. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, that's cool, man.
Yeah, like I smoke mostly my own weed and shit.
Yeah, same.
That's why people would be like, "Oh, the candies are burnt," blah blah blah. Like, you need to get better work then, dog. Because like, really, like the better candy phenos that I have, like shit that I'm dropping, like I could smoke that shit. That shit's getting me high and like, you know what I'm saying, tasting good, smoking right.
Yep.
So it's like if you're smoking air pack candies, like that's your fault.
Yeah, you just smoking production pack candies, bro.
Yep.
You know, what are you gonna do? So let me ask you this, my friend. What do you know that the industry should know, and what you calling bullshit on out there that you're seeing in the game right now?
What should I know that the industry should
The
know?
average person, or what you calling bullshit on?
I would say like people that are so hung up on like the organic soil fucking unicorn shit in my reservoir, and you know what I'm saying? They got some magical fucking shit going on.
Yeah.
Like my personal branded menu right now, like I got cocoa batches, I have soil grown batches, and I have rockwool batches. And it's like honestly, like the rockwool batches are my favorite ones right now. Like some of the cocoa batches are really fire and I like them. I like some of the soil batches a lot, but a lot of the times the rockwool batches are the best batches that I have, and they taste the best, smoke the best, like check all the boxes. And it's like, so really, like, I don't know, that shit is fugazi as far as people just try to hype shit up.
Yo, and those Rockwell batches, I know what you're talking about. They're fucking consistent too.
Yeah.
Very consistent.
Yeah, it's not just like, oh, I got an occasional Rockwell batch that's fire, so I'm gonna die on the hill with it.
Yeah, dog. I know
it's like,
exactly
nah, bro. Like I'm grabbing this shit every fucking 10 days.
Yep.
And shit smoking.
And selling. Mm-hmm. You know, that's tight.
Not like it. They say they'll come up with random. It doesn't store as long. It doesn't like just random ass. That shit ain't true, bro. Like, fire Rockwell batches, bro. Like they store just as good. You know what I'm saying? It's not like these are like synthetic terps that burn off. You know what I'm saying? Like if you ask the typical living soil person, what does the plant, you know, and the difference of the plant, what does the plant know is different between the nutrients? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like a plant absorbs nitrogen, it absorbs phosphorus, you know, potassium, these things, NPK, and it doesn't really matter. The plant doesn't necessarily care where it's getting it from. You know what I'm saying? If you're using a soil regimen, using things to break down the nutrients to create the NPK to give it to the plant, you know, it's the same thing as someone that's just giving NPK directly to the plant, like the end result. You know what I'm saying?
No doubt.
And it's like, I don't know, if it wasn't smoking as good, then I would smoke soil. You know, there is, like, in the state of the game, it's not like all living soil weed is fucking $500 an ounce all the way up. Like, there's affordable living soil batches, you know what I'm saying? Like, I have access to soil and living soil batches if I wanted them.
Sure.
Some of them even cheaper than my Rockwell batches, you know what I'm saying? But the Rockwell ones are what's going into the bags and what I'm standing on at certain times. Yeah. So it's like, that's definitely something I would call bullshit.
No doubt. No, I like that one. That's good.
Yeah, like I would put like my packs up against anybody's fucking $600, $1,000 ounce. You know what I'm saying? Like 100%.
Hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah, I feel that. So now, my friend, you're gonna give us your top 3 strains of all time. Okay, we're gonna go one old school, one new school, and a desert island strain you stuck on the island with.
Desert island strain.
No particular order.
So old school. Probably some Skywalker OG, bro.
Oh, like let's go. My favorite OG.
Like some stupid batches of Skywalker.
Same here, bro.
When I was in like high school and shit. So Skywalker, and then new strains, the Warheadz for sure. Like as far as like
solid answers. As
far as like a genetic, not a box or a packaging that's made waves this year, like the Warheadz is standing on its own ground.
You goddamn right.
Personally.
Me too.
You know what I'm saying? Like
me too.
And then
the desert island.
The desert island strain.
Dum dum dum.
Well, a desert island, bro, I might be bored and I just want to get high as fuck, dog. Yep. So I'm gonna have
Most people do.
I'm gonna pick some fucking probably some OG or some like a crazy batch of GMO. Like, bro, GMO. The right batch of GMO, bro. Oh my God, people are missing out on that.
It's like drugs,
bro.
GMO 100%. Went to the island before. I forget who it was. You're the second person that took GMO to the island.
There's like
But you gotta pick one, GMO or OG, because I got a contest going for Skittles and OG right now. For the island, battle. If
I was
on
a stuck on island with Skittles, I might be upset. Just cause, like, you know what I'm saying?
You're gonna get the flavor.
You're gonna get the flavor.
You're gonna be stressing one day, like
sitting there on that
fucking
island.
High, man.
Man. The right batch of GMO, this one batch I had, I'd probably pick that, bro.
Okay, take GMO. Was like, hey, bro, you're on the island, man. Don't worry about anybody else.
Like, bro, I haven't seen no other GMO batches that I put next to it, but I've had batches before that are. Stupid. Like when it first started hitting, and I was like, "What's this?" And they're like, "Oh, garlic cookies." I'm like, what
garlic cookies or chem cookies.
You know, like when I was first hearing about it, I seen some of those batches. Like some dude probably grew it at his house or something, you know, on his property, and his shit was just like small batch, just fire.
Yeah.
And fucking so whatever the cut is, a different cut must have got around that yielded better or grows better or something.
Yeah, I heard there was 2 cuts of that.
Yeah, because the cut that's around now, like the more it's kind of like more airy and garlicky and less like gas, in my opinion. It's more like, it's got more of like a meat breath vibe where it's just kind of like, you know, it's got
offensive
like
terps,
garlicky but not like super like gas.
Yeah, for sure. I fuck with it. Now, if there was one strain you could bring back, what would it be? That shit's like gone.
Bring back. Man, I feel like Girl Scout cookies damn near fucking gone.
I will fucking accept that answer for sure, dog. That shit's so watery, bro.
That shit is gone as far as I'm concerned.
That shit done hermed a million times. There's a million different phenols of it. Like, fuck out of here, bro. That shit's gone.
I remember some cat piss that I smoked in college, but I don't know. We were in Kansas, so anything decent was probably super like.
Yeah.
You're grateful for it at the time, but it might not have been it.
Yeah, that nostalgia plays a part. I'm thinking, man. You know.
Yeah, the nostalgia will be fucking
it up.
I think.
Yeah, I think that's why I love Piff so much. And every time I smoke it, I'm like, man,
this ain't what I thought.
Fuck, dude.
Yeah, no, 100%.
I came out of retirement and smoked a vanilla Dutch for this shit. You know what I'm saying? Nah, it's like, nah. Sometimes it'd be good, but most of the time I'm like, nah, bro. All right, so now we're gonna switch it to weed etiquette. What is your smoking weed or growing pet peeve? What grinds your gears?
Smoking weed or growing pet peeve. Oh, of course, bro. When people hit the joint too hard and make that bitch fucking canoe.
My
Make
favorite
it
one of all
round.
time.
That's the
Gives
worst.
me anxiety, bro.
No, it ruins the joint, bro.
It ruins
It almost
it.
don't taste as good after it starts
Yeah.
running. It burns weird. The
Yep.
airflow ain't the same.
Yep. And it's like
Just
how we
ruins
roll
that
them. You
shit.
can't just torch the side. It's just
Yeah.
so much weed in that motherfucker. The paper just goes woof.
Yeah.
And now you got all the
100%.
weed exposed. You know what I mean? Yeah. You might as well knock this cherry off and just
That's
start
probably
over.
been a lot of people's answers. Probably, hitting it too hard and.
Yeah, all the smokers, like the motherfuckers that really smoke. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I mean, everybody smokes on the show, but you know, the doink specialists
Hell yeah.
for sure. What's your favorite place to smoke, bro?
Favorite place to smoke. Bro, I like riding and smoking, dog.
Same.
Hope the CHP ain't listening, bro. I like to drive and
Passenger
smoke, bro. Yeah, right?
Yeah, dog. Hell
Passenger
yeah.
side.
Nothing like it, man.
Yeah.
So while you're riding and smoking, what's your favorite song to burn to?
My favorite song to burn to.
Good fucking weed smoking song.
Oh, there's a lot, bro. I've been bumping Sunset Boulevard by Tundi lately.
Okay. Okay. I
And
fucks with
that-
Tundi, man. I
that's-
just learned about this cat,
Yeah,
man. I
that
fucks
shit
with
was
him.
hard.
Son,
My
son's
girl's
fucking
actually
nice.
English, like born in England.
Oh, say word.
She came to America when she was like 5 or 6.
Okay.
So she's like straight up English.
For sure.
But she don't have like an accent or nothing, but
She been out here for a minute.
yeah.
For sure. What's your favorite munchy food, stoner food?
Stoner food. Yeah, I like to go to Brazilian barbecue, bro, and fuck
Oh,
it up. That's
fuck
the shit
yeah,
right
dude.
there. Being
We
a
gotta hit one.
Brazilian, I
We
got
gotta
my
hit one more
national
time.
my national pride with the barbecue.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, this shit's fire.
Shout out to Brazil, man. I got Brazilian cousins. They're not blood, but like we grew up with them. My pops used to live with a bunch of Brazilian strippers in Jersey.
Yeah, on the East Coast,
And,
there's actually a
they
lot
were
of
our fam.
Brazilian
Yeah,
people,
bro.
because it's a
Hell
little
yeah.
bit closer flight.
Yeah, bro. Newark, New Jersey, bro. On
When
Ferry
we
Street.
fly out to Brazil, you'll usually fly to the East Coast and then hit it down from there. So it's probably less of a trip.
Yeah, I got love for Brazilians, man. I grew up with them. They took good care of me. The women are great. You know what I'm saying? Like, not just beautiful, but like they really cater to the
Yeah,
men.
they're hospitable.
They're super hospitable, bro. Super hospitable, yeah. Shout out to my Brazilian cousins if you're watching. Andrea and Marisol, love y'all.
Hell yeah.
All right, so let's take it a step further. What's your middle of the night? You're a scumbag and you know it. You're walking through the kitchen. You see that shit on the counter. You're destroying it. Guilty pleasure.
Shit, bro. I'm fucking training for a fight right now, bro. I don't really be doing that.
Oh,
bro.
shit. Yo, he's
If I-
disciplined, yo.
Nah, if I had a
Hell yeah.
mental break, fuck. The middle of the night.
You're just uncontrollably high. You know what I'm saying? Like, your favorite munchy food, and it's not Brazilian steakhouse, 'cause that shit don't.
Oh, probably some ice cream, dog.
You ice cream guy?
Can't beat
Smack some ice cream?
bro.
Yeah, that's a good one, man.
Yeah,
I'm an ice cream
like
guy
some
too
ice
these
cream
days, yeah.
sandwiches or something, man. Can't say no.
Oh, ice cream sandwiches are fucking lit. Just the regular OG ones, the vanilla
the
with
chocolate with the yeah.
Yeah, hell yeah. So, if you could smoke with two people, one that's dead, one that's still alive, who would they be?
So, obviously, I'd probably say my dad, but I feel like that's probably a common answer, just because he passed away.
That's your truth, bro.
So
I saw that cover. I saw that cover.
But
That's
nah,
cool,
like
bro.
if I were to, for an alive person, you know what I'm saying? If we're like speaking shit into existence type shit, I would say Joe Rogan, bro. You know what I
Oh,
mean?
let's go.
You know what I'm saying? I plan on fighting and doing well with it, so
Hell yeah, man.
you know, being on the Joe Rogan podcast could be in the cards. Smoking a
Yeah,
joint
dude.
with him.
Yeah, you will
Just
be, bro.
gotta keep grinding and
Keep
make
grinding.
it happen.
You're gonna be a fighter with this big ass cannabis brand from California.
that's-
for sure gonna get on his radar,
That's the
bro.
long term plan. Like
Send
if
him
you're
a
thinking
care
5
pack.
to 10 years, you know what I'm
There you
saying?
go.
I'm 28 right now, so
You got
like,
time on your side, my friend.
yeah. I think I got
Yeah.
like within 2 or 3 years or so. If I get in the UFC within that period of time,
No. If
It'd
when
be,
you get in the UFC, bro.
yeah, nah, you can't. I'm just saying on a timeline schedule, there's injuries and there's just
No
things
doubt.
that happen.
No doubt. No doubt.
You can't put your finger on it like that.
For sure.
But
for sure.
100% within 2 to 3 years, get on there, still be rocking the weed shit. You know,
Yep.
that's definitely my long term plan.
That'd be cool. That'd be
That'd
cool. I
be the
dig
best
that.
marketing you could fucking do. You
Oh,
could,
hell
you couldn't
yeah.
buy that marketing.
No,
You got
hell
the
no.
UFC
Hell
behind
no.
you.
Hell no. That's fire. So, at this point, my friend, we're gonna shout out, or you're gonna shout out your favorite plug from back in the day, bro. Who's your favorite plug, man? Who took care of you?
That's hilarious, bro. This fool John Cooley.
John Cooley, the whole name.
This fool named John Cooley.
Okay, John
back
Cooley.
in well, I say it because he passed away.
Okay.
So I was back in.
Usually the ones that pass away, they say the whole name.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Gotta say his whole name. God bless. You know what I'm saying?
God bless, man.
Now this motherfucker would take. He was my favorite plug. He had the best weed at like the best price. Always had fire OG. He must have been growing it with his crew or something, but he always had OG. It was like the Cooley OG. Like if you're in Corona around that time, like 2009, 2010, you know about the Cooley OG. And fucking that fool would lag it, bro. He'd be like, "Oh, I'm down the road," and show up like 4 or 5, 15 minutes, bro. And like 4 hours later, like. This fool, I think he had like a heroin issue or something, bro.
Got you.
See it on his face and shit. So we'd be buying weed. He's like, "Oh, I got some opium," and we're like, "We're cool."
Yeah, we're all right on that, pal.
But he always had the fire weed,
That's
best
cool.
ticket.
That's
and
cool.
Fucking, but he would take forever, bro. Like always lag it, like old school classic fucking lagger. But
yeah.
But still, the weed was just so fire, bro. And we were kids and just happy to have it. Like $35 eighths. But
of
just
the Fuego OG, what
OG,
the
bro.
fuck?
Yeah,
Oh, that's life, bro.
100%.
That's good pizza right there.
Yeah.
So, do you have any mentors that had a big impact on your life? Do you care to shout out, bro?
Some mentors that have had a big impact on my life. Nobody I would say personally, bro. Like I definitely got like people who I watch move and shit. Definitely no one who I would say by name type shit.
No doubt.
But yeah, I mean, there's this dude up in NorCal that be like, he owns like 100 fucking properties in my area and whatnot.
Tight.
And so he's kind of like a real estate mogul in his own right and shit. And so like the money he's worth and how he moves and shit, it's cool to be able to see that. Like if I call him right now, that motherfucker will answer like the second ring or call me back within minutes, you know? So to have someone at my disposal or just, you know what I'm saying, to call and that will answer the phone and help me out with certain things.
Definitely.
Like, that's just like a huge thing, bro.
Hell yeah.
Because like, you know, people like, and it's funny because this motherfucker, he's worth, you know, probably over 100 million.
Wow.
Like I said, I'll call him, he'll answer. If I text him, he'll reply in minutes. And motherfuckers that's like, solid. They got a little brand or they
Most people with that money and stature wouldn't do that.
Yeah, even people who think they got money, but they got no type of real money, bro. They fucking don't answer for 2 business days or something. Like, fuck out of here, bro. You're not that important or fucking busy, you know what I'm saying? Like, real motherfuckers that get shit done. Like, personally, bro, I don't like to see unread notifications, bro. Like, that's just like my own little OCD type shit. But I have people tell me all the time, like, I hella appreciate, like, how quickly you answer. And you always answer. You're always replying and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, pretending like you're too cool and just, like, swiping notifications and replying the next day or not replying to people, like, that shit is burnt, bro. Like, if you're really about your money and you're about your business, like, there's time for that shit. Like, you're always by your phone and whatnot, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like, there's some free game for everybody.
Yeah,
like,
for sure. Answer
everybody that
phone,
you're,
call people back.
everybody that you're not replying to and, like, you're lagging on, like, they know what you're doing, bro. Like, nobody thinks you're so fucking cool that they're like, all right, whatever. He's just too cool.
He didn't see it.
It's like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, come on, bro. But I don't have any particular person who's not reading my messages right now or I'm mad or something. I'm just saying, though, that would be like a huge pet peeve of mine, bro. Like seeing how real successful rich people move and then seeing how some of these people move and it's like, I ain't on that.
That's why you got to choose your circle wisely, my friend, and constantly edit your circle.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I have a saying, if you're not about addition and multiplication and you're about division and subtraction in my life, division and subtraction's got to go. You know what I'm saying?
People be
if
like
you're not adding
that,
value. In other words, you're not adding value to my life, my situation.
Mm-hmm.
Like, man, come on, bro.
Nah, people be like that. Just hang around and kind of sit around and be mad at you winning and shit.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Why are you mad, bro? Like, contribute.
Yeah, yeah. Well, the problem is what you're really doing in that scenario is you're proving to them what's possible and what they're too lazy to do.
Mm-hmm.
And they're really just mad at yourself, but it's just hating is confused admiration. They really admire you, but it's coming out as hate because they're confused about the shit. You know what I'm saying?
Or you just like, sometimes people hate because they see some shit and they're just like, there's no way he's really doing that. There's no way he's actually that cool.
One of the first things a hater will say.
There's no way I feel like I could do that, so there's no way he does that.
Oh.
So they just get that fraud, like everything's a fraud mentality.
Yep.
But then when you actually win and shit, and you see what type of bread you could make and like how many W's you could really take, you see people win and shit, you're like, yeah, you did that. You know what I'm saying? You're like, he really did that. And you know.
No
Whereas
doubt.
if you've never done it yourself, you look at shit and you're like, he's fronting, he's lying. There is a lot of that shit in our game, you know, a lot of fronting, a lot of lying, a lot of spending other people's money.
Yeah, bro, because we got Instagram right now. It's just an interesting world we live in general with social media, and like, you got status in the real world and you got status in this weird ass world on social media and Instagram. It's fucking bizarre, bro.
Yeah, bro.
But,
people be wilding out for the Instagram, like,
and
like
it's
the
egos
shit people
and shit.
do,
You
bro.
feel me?
Like, especially being in the trap, like, you really see motherfuckers that wilding out. Like, I'm not gonna drop no names and shit, but like, you know, when you're up the hill and you're really moving like that, like, you see people come through here and there and shit, and it's like you hear about what they got to go through because they don't know how to fucking not post a picture of them with hella bread on a private jet type shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, they just don't have that self-control to not post that picture and not flex that flex. And you see what they go through and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're really in the game, you see people take huge fucking L's, bro.
Huge,
I see motherfuckers that's, you know, up there moving, but, like, throughout the last year, I've seen them lose fucking millions in L's and shit. Just from being on Instagram too much, bro. Like, flexing every little move, every little play, every fucking...
It's easy to catch up with motherfuckers, bro. It's easy to find people if you just that guy posting all the time. Yeah, so kids, don't be on that bullshit, man.
Yeah, not
stay
even
low.
just the
Stay
law,
low.
Like, the Jack Boys on Instagram.
That's what I was talking about. Yeah, the Jack
law
Boys.
too, though. Like, that's.
Oh, the law. Yeah,
Well,
not
I've
just the
seen
law.
take
Yeah, for sure.
Both losses.
Yeah, right. So, my friend, before we wrap up and get up out of here, I got another question for you. That we're gonna do some rapid fire questions, and then we'll wrap it up. If you could go back to the young you before you jumped in the game, the day before you hopped off the porch, what advice would you give you?
Man, it's going pretty well, dog. I don't want to say nothing dumb and fuck it up. I would probably just let it go. Like, you're gonna do fine on your own, bro.
There's the advice right there.
Yeah,
You're gonna be all right. Just keep going.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to say nothing.
Okay.
Cool. I don't know, bro. Cool. You know what I'm saying?
Bro, this is your advice to you,
it's
bro.
Like the butterfly effect.
Whatever you want.
You don't want to go back in time.
You see that movie?
Because I think about, like, every little...
Yeah, bro.
You know what I'm saying? Like, going to Kansas at the time, you're like, fuck that. But if that didn't happen, what happens? You know? Or there's little shit, you know?
Yeah. For sure. I respect it. So, before we get into the rapid fire questions, we're going to take a quick break. All right, my friend. We're going to hop into the rapid fire questions now. You ready?
Yeah.
One word answers if you can.
All right, bet.
Do you like to smoke in the hot or the cold?
Hot.
Joints or blunts?
Joints.
Bongs or bowls?
Bongs.
Cold start or hot start? If we're dabbing. Rig or e-rig?
Fucking e-rig.
Street smarts or book smarts?
Street smarts.
Fear or respect?
Respect.
Yes or no?
Yes.
Batman or Superman?
Superman for sure.
Haze or sour?
Sour.
Street Fighter or Mortal Kombat?
Mortal Kombat.
Did you grow up in the Ninja Turtle era?
Kind of, yeah.
What's your favorite Ninja Turtle?
Man.
Say the color if you don't remember the names.
Probably the fucking orange one.
Michelangelo.
Yeah, I was about to say
Party Man. You did say pepperoni pizza. I asked the Wolf Cop pizza, like, pepperoni, my boy.
Hell yeah.
I'm like, say less, brother.
Hey, I like Hawaiian though, bro. I just didn't.
Shit. Well, it's coming. Oh, hold on. Hold that thought. Hold that thought. Oh, shit. Nas or Jay-Z?
Nas.
Street Fighter or Mortal Kombat?
The Mortal Kombat.
80s or 90s?
90s.
Coke or Pepsi?
Coke.
Pizza or tacos?
Tacos.
Pizza with pineapples or no pineapples?
I will enjoy a pineapple pizza here and there.
All right. Tacos or burritos?
Tacos.
Mozzarella sticks or nachos?
Mozzarella sticks.
Beach or snow?
Beach. I live in the fucking snow, so I'm over here saying beach.
Hey, nothing wrong with that. It's where you would rather be. In-N-Out or Five Guys?
In-N-Out.
Cheetos or Flamin' Hot Cheetos?
Flamin' Hot Cheetos.
The Wire or The Sopranos?
I haven't seen either, dog.
Oh, good news for you is you got some gold waiting for you, bro.
Yeah.
Pacino or De Niro?
Like Pacino.
You ever see the Godfather trilogy?
Yeah, as a kid, though. I watched that shit with my dad.
1, 2, or 3?
Fuck, bro, I don't remember the...
That's fair. If you haven't seen it since Pops, we'll let it slide. Comedy or horror?
I like comedy.
Freddy or Jason?
Freddy.
Netflix or YouTube?
YouTube. Can't watch Muay Thai on Netflix, big dog.
Right. Morning person or vampire life?
Morning person for sure.
Blackjack or poker?
I don't know how to play either.
Okay. He's not a gambling man, folks.
Yeah, bro. I just brainwashed that one out of me. My dad did.
That's good. You actually don't need to know either one of those. Keeping it real. Text message or phone call?
If I want to talk to him, phone call. If I don't want to talk to him, then a text.
That's fair. Automatic or revolver?
Automatic.
Breakfast or dinner?
I like breakfast.
Bike or skateboard?
Bike. Or no, skateboard. What the fuck?
I was about to say, hold up, son.
Yeah,
You
that
skater?
was a weird reaction.
No, that's all
I
good.
meant to say skateboard.
Jack or Blue Dream for the rest of your life? Nah, he said, nah. Nobody's ever done
Blue
that.
Dream. I'm picking Blue Dream.
That's funny as fuck, dude. Oh, shit. Body shot or face shot by Mike Tyson?
The body for sure. What you mean? You might not wake up from the
You dig?
face shot.
Okay. You have to box Mike Tyson in his prime or MMA with Francis Ngannou. What do you choose, sir?
How do I want to get knocked
Choose
out?
your fate.
I'll probably fight Francis Ngannou in an MMA fight
Okay.
because I think I wrestle better than him. He's probably gonna beat the shit out of me, but there's like the, you know,
The
like
little edge
if
you
I
might
get his
have.
back. But like Mike Tyson, I feel like I could, in his prime, I could probably just punch him in the face and he'd just be like,
Yeah, whatever.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, what are you even doing?
Yeah, what are you doing? Here it comes.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Mayweather or Pacquiao?
Mayweather.
Shot of 151 or hot dab?
I'll take the shot.
Candy or gas?
Gas.
Tupac or Biggie?
Tupac.
Wu-Tang or Death Row?
Getting real West Coast, East Coast over here. Take Death Row.
For sure.
You bringing
For
that
sure.
back, all of the beef back, huh?
No, never. It's just, I like those questions that are polar opposites, and I sometimes hear West Coast cats say Wu-Tang, and it trips me out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Wu-Tang had its own fucking fan base.
Yeah,
That
they
shit
still
was-
do. They still do. Yeah, Wu's L. So good shit, my man. That was good. That was a
Hell
great
yeah,
episode,
hell
bro.
yeah.
Thank you for sharing your story with us.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Before we get up out of here, I'd like to share with people, the power of networking. How did we meet, and who do you know that I should get on the show? So, I believe we met through this whole shit you did with Proper, man. That whole
Yeah.
move you did with Proper,
Yeah,
with getting
right
your weed
there
on
at
the
your
show.
event.
That's how I heard you, and then we met at the pizza party.
Yes, sir.
So thanks for coming through.
Hell yeah.
know what I'm
hell
saying?
yeah.
Did you have
That
fun?
pizza was fire, bro.
Yeah, it was.
Like, I could eat pizza in New York, but most pizza that I eat in California, like some Papa John's or pizza, forget about it. Like, that shit, I can't even process that shit. It'll just, like, sit in my stomach,
Yeah,
and I
it's
just feel
not
like
real
shit.
food. Yeah.
I don't get the energy from it. I'll be, like, tired. But that pizza, I ate, like, 1.5 pizzas or
That
something.
boy. Yeah, dog.
That shit was fire, bro.
Slapping, bro. Hell yeah. And who do you think I should get on the show, bro?
Shit, bro. I mean, Lyfe Sauce is a shoe-in, dog.
Lyfe Sauce.
That's a shoe-in
for
episode.
sure.
He's a busy man. I don't
For
know
sure.
what his schedule's looking like, but
Yeah, we're trying to figure it out.
that's the shoe-in.
Yeah, we'll get Lyfe Sauce on here for
Yes,
sure.
sir.
So before we dip, bro, anything you want to plug right now, please do so. Let us know how we can help you. Drop your handles.
Yeah, bro. I got a fresh rec drop dropping next week. I'm dropping the Galactic Warheads and the Jiu-Jitsu along with another strain. So that shit's gonna be fire, bro.
Nice.
Yes,
nice.
sir. I got some shit coming too. I'm gonna throw some box drops at New York City probably later this year.
Nice.
To see how it goes.
Hell yeah.
And then yeah, bro. Pretty much, I'm really super excited about the pheno hunts that I got coming down.
Me too.
Like as soon as I drop this Z, I'll make sure you get a little.
Please
I want to do something special. You know, I want to do like, I don't know, some sort of tasting event and get everybody together, or like some sort of little box drop where I could have each little pheno, you know what I'm saying, and just bless people with it. I want to like turn it into something special. So I got some thinking to do and shit, but it's on the plans.
I like it.
Whatever it is, you'll get one.
For sure. Where can people find you, bro?
Up the Hill Exclusive, just how it's spelled. That's my name on Telegram if you were to message me. That's my Instagram, Up the Hill Exclusive. So right there, plain and simple.
That's what's up, man. My boy, thanks for coming through, man.
Yes,
appreciate you, dog.
Yes, sir.
Hell yeah. You already know, man. Check out my boy, Up the Hill Exclusive. You already know. Hit the Patreon. Thank you to all the Patreons, all the supporters. Please like, subscribe, comment. That shit really helps your boy out. If you're not already subscribed to the YouTube channel, please subscribe to the YouTube channel. You know your big Kujin, JPZ loves you. Peace, love, good pizza. We up out of here.